sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bo Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bo Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's Bo time.
Are you looking for more in this world? Are you ready for something bigger? Then we are looking for you. The big-hearted, the bold, the messy and the gutsy. The teachers, the growers, the builders. The skilled, the sharers, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go all in and all out. We are volunteers, partners, communities, working together, living together, bringing our experience, passion, and joy to building a better world together. From tackling climate change in Mexico to keeping kids healthy in Kenya, from sustainable farming in the Philippines to education in Kosovo. We learn more, give more, share freely, and serve boldly. Are you ready to tackle the tough stuff? To go the distance to make a difference? Then we have a place where you belong. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. High temperatures in the upper 80s for this afternoon. Humidity will be dropping through the afternoon. We'll see lots of sunshine. It feels good tonight. Our overnight low dips into the mid-60s under clear skies. More sunshine on tap for tomorrow, and our humidity stays relatively low with a high of 87.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 535 points today to 52,211.
Deep left corner of the end zone! Jalen Coker hauls it in for a touchdown!
Off the back iron!
Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home!
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back three-pointer, left corner, swish.
One dribble out for Boozer for three! Big time! And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL! They won the 2026 Stanley Cup!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan on a Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Producing the show today, we have Max Gorin sitting in. He'll be keeping us up and running. And it's once again another celebration day if you're a football fan. College football really getting underway. NC State's first practice, a few other teams getting out there on the field for the first time. Full steam ahead. We are essentially a month away from everything being like really cranking. 2 months away from Cane season. So we're just all getting right on it. No time to waste. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. We start the drive with the Big Three at 3.
Number 1.
If you weren't listening to the show yesterday, about halfway through, we received the 2026 ACC football predicted order of finish, the preseason rankings according to the media. We're going to react to part of that in a second. There's a point I want to make. But first, our entire Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. That's the 4 tools of a service company. You heard 5-tool player, 4-tool service company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Check them out online, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. So with the rankings that came out yesterday, we've talked about it, right? And I'll give you where the local teams are quickly. NC State 7th, Duke 10th, Wake 13th, North Carolina 15th, and remember, it is a 17-team ACC. The middle is very close, okay? There's quite a few groups beyond I'd say the top 4. There's quite a few teams that are very, very close. So it's a bit jumbled in the middle. But what I wanted to bring up was I actually went back and I found the ACC football predicted order of finish from last year. And the top 5 are not in the same order, but identical. Okay? In some order in 2025 and in some order in 2026, the top 5 are Miami, SMU, Louisville, Clemson, and Georgia. The reason why I bring that up is none of those teams were in the ACC championship game last year. Right? It was Duke, who last year was picked 6th, and Virginia, who was picked 11th, who made it into the ACC championship. Now, that's not to dunk on the voters. Matter of fact, I am one of them, so I'm not going to sit here and dunk on us, I guess would be the way to say it. But the reason why I bring it up and the reason why I went back and checked is very simply, we're all human. And name brands get us, right? It's why so many of us walk around with T-shirts that have Nike on it, and it's why so many of us, those shoes or those shirts or whatever, right? Brands get us. Clemson has not done much in the last couple of years to say they're going to be one of the top 5 teams in the ACC, but Dabo's got 2 national championships, and for 15 years they were always near the top of the ACC, and they tell us that the recruiting is back. So they're back up there. Miami, Louisville, SMU, their reputations are they have money. Their reputations are they're well-funded. And everything in college sports tells us the wins follow the money. So if your reputation is you're rich and we can transitive property over that to the rich teams win, we keep throwing them up there. So if it's true, there's another thing that's also true, which is the wins didn't follow the money last year. Because we could also throw in there was that jumbled tie for second place in the ACC that Duke won the tiebreaker to make it to the ACC championship. Pitt was in that group. Pitt. They're picked 9th both years. It doesn't necessarily mean that the predicted order of finish is how it's going to end up. I think a lot of times we just default to the percentages of the good teams, the rich teams, the well-known programs tend to win more often, so we protect ourselves by voting for them.
There's some interesting notes at the end of the release with the predicted order of finish as well, just notes about how they're playing on Labor Day weekend, how many teams made bowl games. One thing that was interesting that maybe was already announced, but either I forgot about it or I didn't know about this, the championship game, the conference championship game this year is going to be at noon?
Correct. We did know that. I forget when they announced it, but I remember thinking there was another conference championship game that they would no longer be competing with.
That's the Big Ten, isn't it?
I forget. I don't want to speak out of my memory is bad on this, but it did seem like foolishness that anybody would have a power conference championship going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
Just because why would you split viewers when you don't have to?
I remember for many years it would be Pac-12 would be on Friday night, and then on Saturday I think maybe the American would be early on Saturday, or maybe they played on Friday too. I know SEC's in that afternoon, like 4 p.m. slot. And I guess the Big 12 was the one that was always felt like I think was at noon. So are they not competing with them now, or is the Big 12? Are they not playing at noon on Saturday that week either?
I'm speaking out of turn a little bit here because I don't remember exactly. I want to say there were a couple announcements on conference championships moving, and it was because, or it seemed like it was because they all recognized that you get better ratings being the only game playing.
I see.
Rather than being in a better time slot with other games going on.
Big 12 is taking that old Pac-12 spot there Friday night now.
So there you go. That was the move. But either way, I'll clear my schedule early if a local team wants to go ahead and make it to the ACC championship game. I won't complain about having to do breakfast on the way to the game. Breakfast is a great tailgate. That is number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
Panthers, second day in practice, or in pads at practice today in training camp. And, I mean, yet again, somebody was carted off. A young player that is seen as a potential breakout or level-up candidate. The first day of practice overall, it was Nick Scorton, defensive lineman, second year. He's done for the year with an ACL. The first day of pads, it was Mitchell Evans, tight end, second-year player. He was carted off. Turns out just a tweaked ankle. He should be ready in time, plenty of time for week one. Today, it was third-round pick Chris Brazzell, the wide receiver out of Tennessee. Now, let me take you through all of it. He missed the last couple of practices with knee soreness. So that is the last few practices. Today, he was back out there in pads. During 7-on-7, non-contact, did not fall when he heard it, but kind of gingerly stopped, talked to a teammate, and then very, very carefully lowered himself to the field. Again, no non-contact injury. He was then helped to the sideline without putting weight on his left leg. Then the cart came out to take him back into the facility. It was revealed that it was the same knee that had been bothering him earlier in camp, and that's why he missed the last few days. Turns out, after some imaging that was done this afternoon, Panthers rookie wide receiver Chris Brazzell sustained a moderate LCL tear in his left knee and is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, per a league source with knowledge of the situation. Now, I want to be clear. That's 8 weeks from now, I believe, not missing 8 weeks of the season, which means that timeline would put him up right around week 4, week 5. They do have an early bye week 5. So my best guess, and it is a guess, my best guess is we see him week 6 after the bye week, because you can get that extra rest without missing another game if you hold out that long. Panthers are having an exhausting camp. I don't want to say it's like worst case scenario, because reportedly the offense looked pretty good today, and there have been some plays made. Like there's nuggets of good. But when the players that are supposed to level up to help you break out keep going down, those are the ones that need the practice. Right? If you told me a 10th year, like the Taylor Moton injury, if we know he comes back early in the year, and it's not an injury, it's a non-football illness, he has the blood clots. If you tell me he's cleared and safe the first month of the season, I'm not as worried because he's a veteran. He's been around forever. We know he gets it. Nick Scorton, Mitchell Evans, Chris Brazzell, they have a combined 2 years of NFL experience. They need the help, and they're expected to be depended on. Even the players that are more headliners depend on them. One of the big pieces of news going into training camp was that Tedero McMillan would move around in the formation more. He could play slot. He can be in motion. They're going to utilize his skills differently. That doesn't happen if you don't have Chris Brazzell being the guy that can take the top off the defense. That's why he's there. He's tall, he's fast, he's long-legged, he's a strider. That's why he was brought in. Now, again, if you don't get him till week 6, he's a rookie. It takes him a month to get back up to speed. Now you're looking at week 10. It's week 10. Are you going to throw a rookie into a huge role in the most important games of the year? Maybe in a limited, it spirals, it snowballs. It's a bummer. Got to overcome it. Next man up. You're not the only team that's suffering injuries. Saw that the Niners had a running back crack a rib. I saw that the Saints likely lost a defensive lineman for the year. Like there are injuries happening all over the place. But I'm not sure the Panthers have the depth to make it look easy when they do their best to overcome these. We'll talk more about the practice later on in the show. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
There is another new high water mark in the NHL total salary, total highest paid player. Macklin Celebrini, stud youngster, and emphasis on talent and ability and excitement is all warranted, like not hype, not potential. Like he's really, really good and all of those things.
Yeah, he's like a top 5 player now and could probably be the best player in the league in like a year or two.
5 years, 18.8 average annual value, $94 million on a 5-year extension. It makes him the highest paid player in the NHL by average annual value when it kicks in, not for this year, but the next year, 2027, 2028. The 5-year term buys one undrafted free agent year back to the team, making him a 26-year-old pending unrestricted free agent in 2032. That's where all of this lines up.
How much money is he going to get when he signs that contract?
I don't even want to think about it.
$25 million a year at least.
I think 25 could be reached by like McDavid on his next deal. I don't even in 2032 he might be getting like 4% equity in the franchise.
Yeah. Like a Messi Inter Miami type contract.
Actually, with the broadcast rights, who knows, right? Because it's going to be a really unique media landscape for the NHL in the next 5, 6, 7 years. However that turns out, if that cap continues to rise, it could get really crazy. Which actually is my main point for this, and I'll talk about this. I'll explain it more later. But there's a lag going on right now in the NHL because the cap is rising so predictably year over year over the last couple and over the next few that if you can get a signed contract 3 years ago that has enough term to ride you into the next kind of chapter of the NHL, it is a hack. And the Canes have done it very, very well. For example, as excited as everybody is about Macklin Celebrini and worth it, if he were born 4 years earlier and he were signing this contract 4 years ago, it would be half. And the 5-year term would still be going. You know what I mean? So getting them signed previously, like the Canes have done with so many of their young players, it is a hack. It is literally a way to like fight inflation, I guess might be the way to describe it. Like they were able to sign up for things for this year back when $1 just cost a different amount in the NHL. We'll talk about that, like we said, later in the show. That'll be about 3:45. We'll dive into the full rosters and how the rising cap and the Leo Carlsson deal and the Macklin Celebrini deal all just impact the NHL and the Canes in a massive way. That is the Big 3 at 3, presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. They've been in the area for a long time, since 1996, and they're just getting better. MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. First day of training camp for NC State, so when we come back, we will fulfill the ritual, the tradition that you have to ask about the NC State football team at the onset of their season. Next.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Refuel and get 25 cents off per gallon when you buy 2 20-ounce Pepsi Zero Sugars with Refuel Rewards.
I'm Galen, co-founder of Brooklyn SolarWorks. With my Chase Inc. Business Premier Card, I get unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything we buy to run our solar business gives us cash back that we put back into the neighborhood, donating solar panels to community gardens.
Chase Inc. Cashback built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/inc. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
products.
Some of life's most meaningful moments are in summertime. Anniversary dinner, weekend getaway, sunset toast to another beautiful year together. Celebrate your story with a gift as timeless as your love from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From classic diamond bracelets to elegant watches and stunning anniversary bands, Bailey's helps you mark every milestone beautifully. This summer, celebrate the moments that matter most. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Greenville, Rocky Mount, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, this is like getting Puxatawny Phil out for Groundhog's Day. This is firing up the grill on 4th of July. This is whatever traditions you have for your holidays. This is it. NC State football, first practice today. Out there, training camp, vibes are high. It's time to fulfill our yearly obligation and ask, is this the year NC State gets 10 wins? We have to. We got to go around. It's like Thanksgiving. You're on the table. Say what you're thankful for. First day of NC State football practice, you ask, can they get to 10 wins? And then everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their debate. David Pollack, who is a college football Hall of Famer, he used to be ESPN and Game Day and all that. He's taken his talents to his own YouTubes, and he has an opinion on on NC State, and obviously C.J. Bailey leading the way, perhaps making this NC State's best season in a long time.
This is a team that has won 10 games one time in school history. That was in 2002 when they went 11-3. Like, Phillip Rivers is in the 10-win club, and he's just been sitting there waiting there for 24 years, and nobody's joined him. It's changing this year, baby. I love the schedule. I love C.J. Bailey returning. He's got some big gifts. He's still got to work on consistency, but that is a big, strong sucker. 31 total touchdowns last year, almost 2 years as a starting experience. The schedule creates a real opening for NC State to get to 10 wins. They avoid Clemson, Miami, SMU, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame. The Wolfpack also won 4 of its last 5 games last season and a big bowl victory. The defense finished good last year. This is year 2 under DJ Elliott, but the late season improvements got to give you some hope. I think the Wolfpack sit to be in a great spot, and I think C.J. Bailey rolls up to Phillip Rivers at the bar and says, "Holla, man, I'm in your club."
Holla, man, I'm in your club.
Love the the stock background music on that too, building the anticipation.
Listen, I think looking at schedules as aggressively as many that are covering NC State are doing is a little much, because we just don't know year over year who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. Avoiding the brand names, I suppose, helps. So give them credit there. Listen, the one time that NC State has won 10 or more games, they won 11. And you heard David Pollack talk about it, right? It was Phillip Rivers' year. It wasn't his senior year. It wasn't the year where he had the ridiculous stats and it vaulted him into being one of the top drafted players and suddenly he's being traded for Eli Manning. And it wasn't that. It was his junior year when they won 11 games. It's C.J. Bailey's junior year. They had the best offense in the Atlantic Coast Conference that year. It was a smaller Atlantic Coast Conference, but it had the best offense. But here's where the pivot comes from, right? Because everybody gives the credit to McClendon and that whole squad and all of those skill positions and Phillip. They had the second best defense in the ACC the year they won 11 games. The thing that State hasn't been able to do over the last handful of Dave Doran seasons is put together both a very good offense and a very good defense year. They had years led by the Peyton Wilsons and the Devin Vans where they were very good defensively. Offense wasn't ready to step up then. Shuffling quarterbacks, trying to figure it out. Then a year like last year happens where statistically they were unbelievably balanced, running the ball, passing the ball, scored a bunch of touchdowns, did a lot of good things, but the defense for most of the season wasn't up to the task. I'm confident the offense is going to be good because I'm that confident in C.J. Bailey. And they were able to pivot off of some talent that they lost in the transfer portal and surround them with enough. I'm confident the offense is going to be pretty good, but it's the defensive side of things. Just like back in whatever year that was, 2002, we give the credit to Phillip Rivers. If they win 10 or more games, we're going to give the credit to C.J. Bailey, but it will be because the defense was able to get at least within arm's length of the quality of the offense. Even I've said a few times, I think C.J. Bailey could be a top-round pick, and I'm a big fan of a lot of guys they have on the offense. But their offense will not be good enough to drag a bad defense to 10 wins. Their offense will not be good enough to drag a 8th in the ACC defense to 10 wins. It has to be within arm's distance, 5th, 6th at least, and that's probably pushing it. To be a 10-win team, you have to win some games where your offense wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. You have to win some games where you'd look at CJ and you say, listen, I know you don't have it, but you're going to get the ball down 4 and 2 minutes left, and you're going to have to find a way to win, even though you've had an off day. Not because you deserve to have a chance to win the game, but because the defense is going to steal one for you. Because the defense is going to say, you're only going to score 17, we'll hold them to 21 and give you the ball with 80 seconds on the clock. Now go rescue your day. That's what it comes down to. And I'm probably guilty of it because I played quarterback. I'm an offensive guy. If I'm watching a game that I don't have a rooting interest in, I just root for the offenses. So we talk about the offense more, the fantasy football positions. We talk about the quarterbacks more because they're the flash, and that's where all the NIL money goes. But it's going to come down to the defense. And it's going to come down to can they get off the field when they need to? It's going to come down to can they get their hands on the ball and force turnovers? It's going to come down to can they get the ball back to the offense and win the time of possession battle? Too many times last year, they would work really, really hard on 1st and 2nd down, only to give up a real dumb one on 3rd.
Yep. And it would feel like it'd be like even short yardage situations too, like 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, and then they'd just get gashed for like 10 yards or a huge chunk play. You can't have that if you're going to get the offense back on the field. And I'm just looking through the results from last season, and there's just so many games of you give up 53 points against Pittsburgh. You give up 41 points to Miami, who was very obviously a very good team, ended up going to the national championship. So you don't want to hold that one against them too much. But there's just too many where you were relying on your offense to bail you out because the defense just couldn't really stop much. And it was honestly even dumb luck. And I think back to that game against Virginia last year in week 2 where Virginia was driving down the field and they were about to win the game, it felt like, and it was just kind of a poor decision. Ended up resulting in an interception in the end zone where if quarterback makes another read and sees a guy wide open underneath him for the middle, that's a loss. And even then, you think about this 8-5 season last year a little bit differently because there's another loss on the record there. So definitely need the defense to kind of find its level again because that's what Dave Doran has been known for a majority of his tenure, I would say, is that they're defensively strong teams and sometimes the offense isn't quite there. The offense is there, and you've got the experienced quarterback. The defense has got to be able to give you something. It's got to be able to win you a game. I definitely agree.
And last year, the defense, again, reason, excuse, you can decide. Tony Gibson, their previous defensive coordinator, runs a unique system. And it's even in a transfer portal world, sometimes it's hard to completely turn over a roster in 6 months. DJ Elliott, in much more serious matters, had a very, very challenging season with health issues within his family. There's a great article on ESPN.com written by David Hale about that. I'm not going to go into it because we don't have enough time to do it justice. But this year, it seems like things are more stable. The roster is going to be more built for his system. You're going to hope for better results from that defense. And if they do it, I do think, hand up if I fall for it again, I do think this could be a season where they win 10 games. I do. You're going to need a little luck to get there, right? You're going to need things to bounce your way. You're going to need a little bit of puck luck, as they say in hockey.
The schedule's favorable, though. At least it looks like it now.
Except it might not be.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's hard to say before you see the teams take the field, and they do play Stanford, who got a first-place vote in the ACC predicted order of finish. But I think a lot of their hopes of winning double-digit games is going to rely on, honestly, how they play the first game of the season in Week 0 at Virginia. Again, Virginia, another kind of unknown. Like, they had a big season last year, but they've also they bring in a transfer quarterback. They've got some names to replace. Are they going to be able to sustain that success? Are they going to be ready to go in that first game of the year? I'm sure it's probably going to be hot. Are the conditions going to be a factor there in one of those early season games where it's really still late summer? Like, there's just so many unknowns. But at least in terms of the conference schedule, like, it looks doable if you can handle your business.
If they beat Virginia, I think 4-0 or 3-1 going into the Louisville game with their fifth game and kind of starting their ACC schedule. I mean, that's maybe not even plausible. That might be likely if they can get that win against Virginia. And then once you're 4-0, who knows, right? Then 10 becomes much, much more attainable when you look at their schedule. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Moving on, we will get to, speaking of the college sports world, the Dean's List. So we'll stay right there coming up next.
Hey, everyone. Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things I appreciate about being part of the motorcycle riding community is that there are people there to help me in times of need. That's what Law Tigers is there to do. I appreciate the fact that if I'm ever injured in a motorcycle accident, I can contact Law Tigers, and I know that people there are going to represent me for my best interests. Law Tigers attorneys, they understand what it's like to go through an accident, what it's like to be on the road, because they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth, but again, they understand the dangers of the road. That's why your case evaluation, it's always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So contact Law Tigers, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers is there to fight for you. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. Your life is busy. Between work, family, and everything else on your calendar, finding time for car care isn't always easy. That's why I'm excited to share that our University Place and Crabtree locations are open Saturdays from 8 to 5. Whether you need tires, maintenance, or repairs, you'll now have more flexibility to take care of your car when it works best for you. It's just one more way we're working to make automotive service a little easier. Schedule your Saturday appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We love college sports around here. I'm very excited that the college football season is getting started. But college basketball offseason has become free agency. There's always something going on. And because of that, year-round, right about this time, we do something we call the Dean's List. Class is in session, and as we've done all week, you could be on the Dean's List for seeing the next generation of college stars. Text keyword BALL, B-A-L-L, to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to High School OT's Jamboree at Wake Med's Soccer Park on August 8th. The Jamborees that are thrown by High School OT are high school football events, preseason events. Sometimes the first chance for you to see some of the biggest recruits in the country, let alone the area. Top 50 guys nationally, obviously a whole bunch of the top recruits in the state of North Carolina, but they get together for these preseason events to play against other teams. high school OT. Our colleagues here at Capital Broadcasting put it all on. You might just see a few of us from here at 99.9 The Fan out there. Potentially doing the coin toss. Who knows? But that's all at WakeMed Soccer Park on August 8th, and you can win a pair of tickets by texting BALL, that's the keyword, BALL, to 919-860-5326, and that would put you on the Dean's List. It would. Or you would, just by sending in the keyword, you're on the Dean's List. Take that. For more Dean's List, how about NC State football? Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter, tweeted out, NC State received $180,899 in royalties from EA Sports College Football between July 1st, 2025 and July 1st, 2026, per public records. So they received almost $200K for people playing the game as the Wolfpack. I don't know what other schools received. I don't know if that's good or bad because the payouts are divvied out based on how often your team is chosen to be played with by the video gamers out there. But 180K is still 180K, right? That might be the difference between getting a player to commit or not in NIL. That might be the difference between being able to afford that extra scout or not. So NC State football, 180.9, I guess we can call it, roughly $181,000 in royalties from EA Sports in a calendar year from July 1 to July 1. Do you have any Dean's Listers you would like to throw in here, Max?
To put the Big Ten Conference on the Dean's List. They're having their Big Ten Media Days right now, I believe in Chicago. And Dana O'Neill, who former of The Athletic, now works for CNN Sport, had tweeted, they're blasting Yacht Rock as we await the start of Day 2 at Big Ten Media Days. So shout out to Big Ten. They're doing it right over there at the Big Ten Media Days.
Yacht Rock. That actually does track. For those of you that don't know, and I don't know how you wouldn't because it's one of my favorite bits, it's not even a bit. It's authentic. It's one of my favorite things. Is Max Gorin, who is our resident young person when he's producing the show, loves Michael McDonald and loves Yacht Rock, and it's just a funny personality quirk for me. It does track for 50-something college football coaches in the Midwest would love Yacht Rock. That makes sense to me.
And a bunch of media people.
Yeah, media people and administrators and. That makes sense to me. You're the one that is funny and kind of unique. It does not strike me as funny at all that Ryan Day might like some Yacht Rock or what is it, Winningham, the new coach of Michigan. If he likes Yacht Rock, that makes a lot of sense to me. By the way, did you see the I think it was Brett McMurphy did the counting, the word counts for opening statements by the commissioners. Just talk about the Big Ten Media Day. The ACC and SEC commissioners, their opening statements were almost 3,000 words. Big 12 was 2,000 words. The Big Ten was 800 words. Just, all right, let's get to questions. They I guess, are more succinct. They have a better economy of words in the Big Ten. Or they just wanted to say, we're better than the SEC. We want a 24-game playoff. Thank you. Back to the Dean's List we go. Tennessee linebacker Arion Carter. He's on the Dean's List because I feel bad for him. Tennessee star linebacker Arion Carter has been suspended for 2 games by the NCAA because he returned to college after his agent had paid for a $427 flight to an NFL pre-draft training facility. And get this, he paid the agent back. $427. So what happened is he was considering going pro. He has an agent, like everyone in college does. His agent paid for the flight. Then he withdrew from the draft because of an injury he suffered while training. So he's like, I don't want to go into the draft injured. I'll go back to Tennessee. I'll give the agent the $427 back. And the NCAA said 2 games. Now, I'm all for, you know what the rules are. If you break the rules, you got to get punished. I am also all for the punishment has to fit the transgression, right? 2 games for $427. But I think I have a even better loophole. You don't have to have NIL deals less than $600 approved by NIL Go. Why doesn't he just say, I did some NIL for that agency, and they gave me $427, and I didn't have to get that approved. It's so dumb that guys can just get as much money as they want for so many other things, and then $420. That feels like the NCAA from like 2006 is back, not the NCAA from right now. So I don't even like Tennessee. I think they do some things the wrong way. But I feel bad for Arian Carter. So he's on the Dean's List just for sympathy and pity. More Dean's List. Local product, Drake May. The top 10 ratings in Madden for the offensive skill positions came out. He is the 6th best Madden rating amongst all quarterbacks. 92 for Drake May. That's one of those things that, like, as a kid you dream of. It's probably not as cool in real life, but still, you can go fire up the game. You don't have to go edit your player to make him a 99 everything, and you're already one of the best in the game. Also, I don't know if we claim him, but former Wake Forest running back Kenneth Walker is 9th amongst running backs at a 90. We'll be playing for the Chiefs this year. Finished at Michigan State, so I don't know how we feel about that, but he's a 90. Those are the only two guys with local college ties that are in the top 10 at running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. And finally, on the Dean's List, former Duke basketball player, current Charlotte Hornet, Con Knipple. Because apparently he's going to have to just bash his head against the wall of expectations forever, and I want him to be full wind in his sails. ESPN put out a list of stock up and stock down players for the 2028 Team USA Olympic basketball team. They're already getting ahead of it. Somehow Con Knipple is stock down, and LeBron James is stock up. 2028. Con Knipple just second in Rookie of the Year voting.
Yeah, it's I read that. It was largely attributed to kind of his poor ending to the season, which I'm pretty sure, and a lot of people are pretty sure from watching and from kind of the context around it, that he was probably playing hurt during that time, had some kind of lingering back issues. So hopefully when he comes back full health, he'll be able to kind of regain his form, and then it'll go from stock down right back to stock up, because he had one of the best rookie shooting seasons in NBA history.
Not one of. The best shooting rookie season in history. If a rookie, by the way, almost no other rookie, maybe Cooper Flagg, who, by the way, he was like a non-mover in this. He wasn't stock up or stock down. He's just on the team. Maybe Cooper Flagg, but nobody else had the workload he had. He was playing a ton. So, yeah, he got a little tired at the end. Maybe a little banged up. Nothing like a 44-year-old LeBron James will have to deal with in 2028. I hope LeBron doesn't even want to be in the Olympics in 2028. Because he won't be helping. He'd be there as like, you know what, like the All-Star game does it every now and then? Like, what was it, Kershaw and Verlander were like at this year's baseball All-Star game just basically as mascots. We've seen Dirk and Dwayne Wade do it where they're just there like, hey, thank you. Like, that would be LeBron at the Olympics in 2028. There you go. That's the Dean's List. We can go ahead and dismiss. Don't forget, once again, text keyword BALL, BALL, to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to High School OT's Jamboree. That's preseason football event. Some of the biggest recruits in the area will be there at Wake Med Soccer Park on August 8th. We're going to have somebody from High School OT on the show tomorrow to talk more about it. So gain some info there. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. You know what? If I could pick anybody to go back in time with me, if I had to go to like time travel a century ago, I might take a Maynard Service Company technician, because they are well trained in heating systems, cooling systems, plumbing, electrical, every different kind, how to build them, how to take them apart, how to put them back together, how to find the problem. And we would probably be like burned at the stake because they think we're witches, because it's that important. It's that crazy. It's that technologically advanced. Heating systems, cooling, plumbing, electric on really hot days like today, on really cold days like, I don't know, last week for this time of year, or any day for plumbing and electrical work. If it's not working, call Maynard Service Company. MAYNORservices.com. That's MAYNORservices.com. Or you can save them right there on your phone. 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. When we come back, Macklin Celebrini signed a 5-year extension. He'll be the highest paid player in the NHL. The Canes, though, may have made the better decision. Stick around.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Yeah, can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How old is Macklin Celebrini? Like I know he's young as all
He's
get
20.
up. 20 years old.
Turned 20 about a month and a half ago.
Can't even legally drink. That's always what anyone before 21. That's always what you say, right?
He's Canadian though, so he can back home.
Well, when he's in America, he can't legally sit down at the bar and have a beer slid down. Can't do it. But what he can do is bank on $94 million fully guaranteed on his contract extension. This is The Drive, and Macklin Celebrini of the San Jose Sharks earlier today agreed to a 5-year, $94 million contract extension to remain in San Jose. This will take him up through 2032. It is 18.8 average annual value, which you will notice is 0.8 more than Leo Carlson cross town with Anaheim, cross California with Anaheim after he signed the offer sheet with Philly. That was matched. These things happen in sports. It's not always, and Macklin Celebrini is the best of his generation, right? The best of that group that's coming up. They kind of got next, right? After the McDavid generation relinquishes the throne. Like Macklin is the next guy. But it doesn't matter that he's the best. It matters that he's the next, right? You get to a certain point where if you are good enough, if the league sees you as good enough to be the centerpiece of a team that can win the cup or the centerpiece of one of the top lines in the league, then it's pass. It's yes, it's affirmative. And when your time is up, if you want to, you can be the highest paid player in the league. 5 years, $18.8 million. He will get they call it another bite at the apple. He'll get another contract when he's 26 years old. That's the part that is really good business by him because whatever the going rate is at that point will be astronomical, and there will be no, the last few years on this contract you're going to be past your prime. None of that. He can get the max. So good business by him, expected business because he's next up, right? The moment Leo Carlson goes for 18, I was pretty confident he was going to go for more. Also, and I say this knowing that I hope I wouldn't even need it, but I always give young athletes one free holy cow contract. Because at a certain point, if you really milk your team for every last ounce of your leverage to get as much money as you possibly can, it's going to be really tough to put a winner around you. Right? It is. It's like if you are the absolute highest paid player at the highest paid position in your sport, it is difficult to put a winning team around you that's good enough to beat a team like the Carolina Hurricanes, who are just deep line after line after line of super good play, right? But I'm also completely aware that like athletes are human. So I give you one. You get one contract where I do it the same thing for quarterbacks, same thing for basketball players, same thing for baseball players. Like you get one where you just get to go, retire your grandkids. Then you can start thinking about planning and how you want to use your leverage in other ways. So he gets his, goodness gracious, I'm going to be $100 millionaire contract out of the way. This is a good way to visualize it, all right? And hat tip to Adam Gold. The Adam Gold Show airs before this one on 99.9 The Fan. Andrei Svechnikov, Logan Stankoven, and Jackson Blake combine to make $18.87 million average annual value. Celebrini signed for $18.8. It is essentially an entire top 6 line, like a top 2 line, for the exact same price you're getting just Celebrini. Now, I don't think it's a bad deal for San Jose. I think when you get a Macklin Celebrini on your team, you do absolutely everything you need to do to keep a Macklin Celebrini on your team.
100%.
You are handcuffed by it. You have to do it. Now you can try to communicate with him what you want to do with cash and why it shouldn't be this or it should be that, or if you do this, then we can do that to help you. Like you can have those conversations, but it does become very, very obvious what the Canes have been able to pull off when you can say Svech, Stankoven, and Blake are essentially all making the same amount of money as sole Macklin Celebrini, or just a little bit more than sole Leo Carlson, and we could go on. And the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. Which brings me to an article that was posted on The Athletic today. Yearly, The Athletic puts out an article which ranks teams that spend their money most wisely. It's called the NHL Contract Efficiency Rankings, which, hilariously, San Jose was dead last. Then the Celebrini news came out, so they went back and updated it, and they are dead last. So they updated it, and it didn't change their standings at all.
It's because of the way they've handled their decor this offseason.
They've got some real anchors.
Malpractice.
There are some real anchors on their efficiency rankings.
Like you signed Jacob Trouba to $8.25 million for 4 years. Like it's not even like they traded him to you with assets. You just went and did that.
Yep.
You're like, all right, well, we need some NHL defensemen. Let's get Jacob Trouba at age 32, and let's give him $8 million a year. And then let's trade for 4 more years of Darnell Nurse with 0 contract retained from Edmonton, who has been openly trying to move his contract for a long time. So not the best cap management in terms of the decor specifically for San Jose this offseason.
And that is where the Canes are superhuman. It's not that they have the really good contracts. Because, like,
they do.
No, I know. A lot of teams have good contracts, is what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the top 10 contracts, again, The Athletic put out this list, I think it was last week. Top 10 contracts in the NHL, the Canes have 2 of them, right? But that means there are 8 others that are better than the Logan Stankoven contract, or better than the Jacob Slavin contract, or better than the Sebastian Aho contract, because none of those are in the top 10, right? Other teams have really good contracts. The impressive part is the Canes have almost no bad contracts. Like, The Celebrini, oh, good, celebrate it, right? Oh, good contract. Or you can go on and on to other teams' best contracts, right? Montreal, they have really, really good contracts with Demidov and Caulfield and Dobesh, and they got good but they also have 8 bad contracts that are losing value. The Canes, if you go to, you can go to the article right now. It's on The Athletic if you subscribe. They have every forward, every defenseman, every goalie under contract listed. The only 2 that are seen to not be a positive value analytically are William Carrier and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Now, we know Jesperi Kotkaniemi, right, healthy scratches, and that's a contract that I think if they needed the cap space, they'd be able to get out of either through trade or by buyout, but they have cap space so they don't see it, so they're just kind of eating it. William Carrier is, I guess, technically, analytically, losing money on the contract. He's on a 4-year, 2.1 average annual value contract.
But he fits his bottom 6 checking role perfectly for this team. So.
But it's the physicality that without him, I don't know if they have in that lineup. And still, even with ignoring the not intangible things he brings that are difficult for an analytic to see, he's bringing $1.8 million on a value on a $2.1 million average annual value contract.
There's not that much of a difference there.
Of the players that played in the postseason, excluding Nick Delorier, that's the worst contract. I'm not saying Nick Delorier is a bad contract. I'm saying they didn't have it here because it was just signed. That's the worst contract, is someone who is bringing $1.8 million value on $2.1 million. And I think he makes up that difference easily with his physicality.
100% he's worth that. And also, that's not even like the originally signed contract because of changes like to the CBA.
Oh, right. That's true.
He actually had to get a small pay raise recently to try to
because the
to
minimum
make it fit.
Went up.
Yeah, to make it fit because of, I think, just how like the salary and signing bonuses and everything is organized. But so it would have been even less like of a difference, because I'm pretty sure it was just a straight up $2 million cap hit before he went up to 2.15. So even that small difference would technically be even smaller when you consider what the contract was when it was actually signed 2 years ago.
And you can scroll through the teams that do it well, that are top 10 most efficient. They just have some misses. They just have some misses. Oh, I thought that guy would develop. He didn't. And the Canes really don't. Right? So, there's a great scene, and it's actually by a con man, so maybe this isn't the best time to use it. But in the sales pitch in Wolf of Wall Street, I ask you not to judge me by my winners, but by my losers, because I have so very few. Like, that's how you should judge the Carolina Hurricanes. Everybody wants to jump to the Jackson Blake contract being this otherworldly value, and it is. But it'd be one thing if they, like, the nature by which, or the strategy by which the Canes have gotten those very, very good deals, the Jackson Blake, the Seth Jarvis, the Logan Stankoven, the Sebastian Aho deals, the ones that we cite as like the best of the best, the strategy to get those is inherently risky. Right? Because you're betting on a player who has shown maybe a year's worth of good play, and you're giving them 8-9 years of contract, which is guaranteed. And if they go south, that's a bad contract for a long time. But if it goes well, it's a great contract for a long time. And if that's your MO, if that's your move, you would bank in almost to your math. We're going to miss on a few of these, and we're going to have to eat them for a long time. Kotkaniemi. That's it. And there are those out there that still believe in Kotkaniemi, and I believe you could still get a something in a trade for him, something small. But I believe that's one you could get out of. They're choosing not to there. It's incredible, right? So, you're going to see other teams, and like I said, the Macklin Celebrini deal is one you have to make. That is a smart move. There's going to be some obvious ones that everybody kind of has to do. But if you look at the San Jose Sharks card right now, obviously his will be a surplus value. I'll give them a win with Macklin Celebrini. That brings their positive values to 4 contracts. Their negative values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have 12 contracts that are losing value according to the Athletics analytics, and they have 4, including one that's like obvious. You just sign Macklin Celebrini to whatever he wants. 4 to positive value. Goodness. This is why we celebrate Eric Tulsky around here. And the people before him that have also signed a lot of these contracts. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What am I doing? It's almost August and we're talking hockey. No, football is back. Football at 4 is next.
Worried about car repair costs? Relax. Meineke has you covered with flexible financing solutions customized especially for you. For tires, brakes, engine repairs, and more, you can trust Meineke to get you safely back on the road now and in the future with multiple payment solutions available. No worries. Meineke will make it easy for you. Each Meineke is independently owned and operated. Schedule an appointment today by visiting Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
For 2 unforgettable nights, the legendary music of Pink Floyd comes to life like never before. The North Carolina Symphony joins forces with The Machine, America's #1 Pink Floyd tribute band, for an epic celebration of one of rock's greatest catalogs. Tickets on sale this Thursday, October 2nd and 3rd at 8 at the Martin Marietta Center at Menandy Concert Hall in Raleigh. Tickets online at ncsymphony.org.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Genie log, day 15,824.
Powerball jackpot is over $650 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $650 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Not a bad afternoon out there. Lots of sunshine, the high temperatures in the upper 80s, and our humidity continues to slowly fall this afternoon. It will feel comfortable tonight with the low in the mid-60s, and humidity stays relatively low tomorrow with a high of 87 under sunny skies.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 1,133 points today to 51,613.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Once again, to start next segment, so 4:15, because I'm going to want at least one more commercial to collect my thoughts on it. We will bring some new news out of the ACC. The ACC all ACC preseason team has been announced as voted on by the media or has been released. Just got it in my my inbox here in my email during that commercial. So we'll pass that along at about 4:15. I will say this, though. Not a lot of local representation. Not a lot from the state of North Carolina on the All-ACC preseason football team. So that's coming up at about 4:15. Stick around. We will give you all the latest. Right now, though, it is time for Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. The Carolina Panthers practiced today. It was their second day in pads. And if you're just tuning in now, there was another scare, injury-wise, another player carted off. This time it was Chris Brazzell, their third-round rookie wide receiver. It was a knee injury. It turns out after the proper testing this afternoon, moderate LCL tear in his left knee. He is expected to miss up to 8 weeks, which would bring him back about week 4 of the regular season. They do have a bye week 5. Wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him till after that, but that's just a guess. The reason why I bring that up, well, first of all, I mean, if you have heart problems, you probably don't want to be a fan of the Carolina Panthers this preseason. They've now had a young emerging player get carted off and get the worst news, a young emerging player get carted off and get pretty good news, and a young emerging player get carted off and get moderately bad news. Nick Scorton, bad news. The defensive lineman done for the year. Mitchell Evans, the tight end, the pretty good news. Just rolled his ankle, tweaked his ankle, should be back before the season. And now Chris Brazzell's somewhere in between, getting the 8 weeks kind of rough estimate for his return. Common sense and what we're being told might be fighting with each other a little bit here, because we are being told that Chris Brazzell's injury is believed to be unrelated to his earlier knee issue that held him out of practice the 2 days prior to today, the 2 practices prior to today. He was not participating in day 1 of pads due to a knee injury, and it didn't look like, or knee soreness is what they called it, and he didn't look super confident in it walking to practice. And then he practices today, and that very same knee is the one that he has the issue with that'll hold him out. We're being told it's not related, right? I like many, my antennas go up and go like, they had to be related, but maybe not. I also want to emphasize this because in my own social media feeds, I'm seeing a lot of people, meaning like people responding to me. They're blaming Dave Canales, saying like, how do you let him practice? Coaches aren't the ones making that decision. They go to the trainer and say, can he go? And if the trainer says yes, great. Right? They don't hold that. That's a, they're not doctors, head coaches, or coordinators, and they didn't stay at the motel that's supposed to make them smart enough to be a doctor last night. So with the Brazzell news happening, it brought me back to a question that we've debated a bunch of times this offseason, which is, what does the wide receiver mix look like this year? Tetairoa McMillan is going to be a big part of the offense. Jalen Coker, when healthy, is going to be a big part of the offense. Tetairoa McMillan because of his draft status. Jalen Coker because of the contract he signed this offseason. And both of them because of the way they played last year. They're going to be a big part of the offense. Chris Brazzell coming in as a third-round pick with his skill set, being the 4.3, 840 guy, to me was a action that spoke louder than words on, they're trying to phase out Xavier Legette if possible. But Xavier Legette is like a cat, a panther, huh? He's got 9 lives. He's going to get another chance to show his stuff. He is going to get another chance to show his stuff because, like the John Mechie's of the world, the Bryson Tremaines of the world, the David Moores of the world, these other wide receivers on the roster, they're good players. And I like John Mechie. What they're not, at least at this point in their career for most of them, they're not sub 4.4. They're not those overly fast individuals. And the best way I think you get the most out of Jalen Coker and Tetairoa McMillan is being as varied as possible with Jalen Coker and Tetairoa McMillan. You can't be predictable with where they line up. You can't be predictable with what you're doing with them pre-snap. You can't be predictable. And to do that, you need somebody that can go outside and take the top off a defense. You need somebody to be what's called a sacrificial X receiver, which means at times you are running deep and the quarterback has absolutely no thought of throwing the ball to you, but hopefully you take a corner and a safety with you, and thus they are undermanned in their coverage of the players you're trying to get the ball to. I don't think that can be David Moore. I don't think that can be many players on this roster. It was, I believe, a big part of the reason why Xavier Legette was drafted when he was, and I believe it was a big part of the reason why Brazzell was drafted where he was. Because whether you're fast or not, right? And by the way, they're all fast. It's not like any of them are losing in a race to us. Whether you're NFL wide receiver fast or not, you have to be a threat, right? So Tedero McMillan is a threat no matter what he does. He doesn't have to be a 4.39 guy, right? He could be 4.54, but his skill set and his separation abilities and his height and his leaping ability, he's a threat. But you don't want to have to use him in that decoy mode. You might have to a little bit now. You're not going to be able to get him in the slot as much. You're not going to be able to get him away from press coverage as much. You're not going to be able to use him in creative ways as much. And thus, same with Jalen Coker. So once again, I find myself saying, all right, Xavier Legette, like let's get you to the stage. Let's get you in makeup. Time for your close-up. Like, it's going to be a lot of Xavier Legette early, and that's no disrespect to the other wide receivers. It's more of a, like, not all wide receivers are drafted or built or asked to do the same things. John Mechie, I believe, is more of a backup to Jalen Coker than he is a backup to whoever that third speed wide receiver is. It's not all apples to apples. So, I mean, it's no different than I said, like, just because it's happening a lot, right? The A.J. Brown discourse. Let's take a sidebar, okay? Everybody, can you come with me on a path? Today was a very good day for the offense for the Panthers. Apparently, today was also a very good day for the Patriots offense. Drake May and A.J. Brown connected for a bunch of touchdowns. Apparently, Bryce Young at camp was lighting it up, dicing them. Touchdown here, touchdown there. I get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, we all get a touchdown. I now have to give the opposite of the speech I've given all week. When things aren't going well, and I was going, I don't care. You're supposed to make mistakes in practice. These guys are just getting to know each other. They're just getting back into a rhythm, and I want them to mess up now, look at each other, non-verbally say, that's my bad. I'll take that harder on the double move a little bit, or you got to get the ball up a little bit more. Like, I want that to happen. I don't care about mistakes. Well, now that they have a good practice, you can't take a victory lap if you were the one screaming about how they didn't have a good practice and it doesn't matter. Bryce Young had a good day today. A.J. Brown caught 1 million touchdowns today. That is also part of practice. Great, check it off. Let's go to the next thing tomorrow. Right? Or, okay, now let's go set up our counters, right? You got the corner to bite on that one. What if the next time you run that route, corner's going, I've seen this before, I'm not going to bite. How do we handle that? I need you to fight across the face. There's a million conversations that still need to happen. And throughout a training camp, it's going to swing back and forth. Offense is going to do well. Defense is going to make their adjustments. They're going to do well. Then it's going to flip, and it's going to flip, and it's going to flip. Sometimes 3 times within a practice. So I was talking to, like, the Bryce Young haters for the first 6 days of practice going, I don't care. I'm gonna pay more attention for context than for results right now. Now today, I'm looking at the Bryce Young truthers that think he's awesome, that are celebrating and going, I also don't care. Good practices should happen. It's the chess game. So now back to the wide receivers. Wide receivers had a good day. They did, because the quarterback can't really have a good day if the wide receivers don't have a good day. So they had a good day. I don't care. I don't. And Chris Brazzell got hurt, so actually the wide receivers had a terrible day. I don't care about anything other than the injury, and now you're going to have to, once again, work in different roles. And I've been there, not me specifically. My role was pretty darn simple. My role was play quarterback. But I've been there where other guys were really excited about trying something new, and then injuries were like, never mind. When I was in college, it was the era of the Wildcat, right? Wildcat with the Dolphins was like 07, I think. And then that was the year in 07. They were the only ones that did it. 08, kind of everybody started getting into it. 09 is, I believe, when Darren McFadden was getting it done. They called it Wild Hog at Arkansas. And by 2010, which was my sophomore year, everybody had it. We were going to do it with a tight end. We had a tight end named Josh Baker, ended up playing in the NFL, one of the most athletic people I've ever played with in my entire career. Wild dude. The stuff he would do in the weight room was crazy. And he was going to be our Wildcat. He was going to be our non-quarterback quarterback. And everybody was so excited for it. And then in our very first game, he tore his ACL. And the crazy part was you had to turn to, like, the tight ends that were getting onto the field because Josh was playing quarterback and go, like, all right, now you're probably not getting on the field very much. You had to turn to the running backs that were going to get on the field in these cool wishbone formations where they're going to do all this cool stuff and go, never mind, let's get back into our shotgun offset eye. Like, it was just everything reeled back in, and it was nobody's fault. That's happening right now with the Panthers wide receivers. Oh, T-Mac, we were going to get you to the slot. We were going to get you to this. We were going to do this. We were going to do that. All this cool stuff, all that film you watched on Puka Nacua and all that film you watched on CeeDee Lamb and how they're used in a million different ways. Well, we might get back to it like week 6. But for right now, you're back out how we used you last year, which is about 85% of the time you're out wide and you're playing X. It's a bummer. But it's injuries, right? You can't have depth at every single position. Certain guys get hurt, things are going to get changed. Now, if Brazel comes back, it's how much do you trust a rookie with like one practice under his belt jumping right back into an NFL game? And we'll see. That's Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. As I said earlier, we have the 2026 All-ACC preseason football team to discuss. And I just a quick little survey here, I believe, on the 2026 All-ACC preseason offense, defense, and specialists. There is one player that plays in the state of North Carolina. Not for North Carolina, for any of the teams in North Carolina. I'll tell you who that is next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He, Rich Paul, and whoever is in the small circle of people in the know knew that they were going to have to weather this. Everyone being annoyed at the delay in the indecision. It's almost as if he's enjoying this because he knows we're all chomping at the bit for this information, and he knows that there's an internal countdown in his head being like, okay, just wait, it's going to happen here.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Refuel and get 25 cents off per gallon when you buy 2 20-ounce Pepsi Zero Sugars with Refuel Rewards.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where they have a timepiece, a luxury timepiece for you. I like to say that your interest in watches, your likes, your taste, it's as unique as you are. Some people, they want history. They want military history like Hamilton. They want watchmaking innovation history like the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, granddaddy of all the dive watches, or the Moon Watch from Omega that's been worn on the moon more than any other watch. Some want something brand new. Some want something innovative. Some want something trendy. The Norcanes, the more modern pre-owned and vintage Rolex. There are so many options when it comes to what you wear on your wrist, what statement you want to make. And lucky for us, the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, as well as the Omega Boutique, the largest of its kind in the country, and the main showroom at Bailey's have it all. No matter what you want your luxury timepiece to say, they have the watch for you.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We are also on the doorstep of the 2026 college football season. And in front of me, I have the 2026 All-ACC preseason football team. Before the break, I did tease that there's one player total on the All-ACC preseason team, offense, defense, and specialists combined. There's one player total that plays his college football in the state of North Carolina, so that would be obviously Carolina, NC State, Duke, and Wake Forest. There's one, and that's tight end Jeremiah Hazley, somebody we talked to and we talked about at ACC kickoff. He is somebody I voted for the all-preseason team, so I believe it is deserved. There's not a statistically dominant tight end returning to the ACC this year. He had a very good season last year, but also is a physical, like very, very physical blocker. So he brings the dual tight end ability. Other than that, ain't nobody made it. None of them. I'll give you the team now just so you are aware of who was chosen. The guy that has played his college football in the state of North Carolina is the ACC preseason quarterback, Darian Mensah, which, by the way, I believe there were 188 votes. Yes, 188 votes. And so for those of note, I will give you the picks. There were 112 votes for Darian Mensah, Miami quarterback. His running back, Mark Fletcher Jr., also preseason All-ACC, 127 votes. Isaac Brown of Louisville, 94. Malachi Toney, the wide receiver, not unanimous, but pretty close, 164 votes. Deuce Robinson, Florida State, 131 votes. Bryant Wesco Jr., Clemson, another wide receiver, 64 votes. Hazley, as I mentioned, from Duke. Malachi Toney, also the all-purpose back. Offensive line, which for my money is the toughest to sort through. So, obviously the point totals aren't all the way up there in the hundreds. P.J. Williams, SMU. Mikhail Boley, Virginia. Noah Josie, Virginia. Samson Okunlola, Miami. And Josh Bates, center from SMU. On the defensive side, again, I'll run through this quickly. Will Helt and Clev Lubin from Clemson and Louisville are the defensive ends. The defensive tackles, Ahmad Moten Sr. from Miami. Kamari Copeland from Virginia Tech. 3 linebackers, Sammy Brown, Clemson. Cam Robinson, Virginia. Mohamed Toure from Miami. The corners, Ashton Hampton from Clemson and Chris Peel from Syracuse. I believe Chris Peel has the fewest votes, tied with a safety. I'm about to tell you the fewest votes of anyone to make the All-ACC team. So cornerback, one that's kind of up for grabs. The safeties, Bryce Fitzgerald of Miami and KP Price of Boston College. Price ties with Peel for the fewest votes on that first team. Specialists, Aiden Burr of Georgia Tech, Daniel Sparks of Virginia are the kicker and the punter. And once again, the specialist, Malachi Toney from Miami. This, to me, is where perhaps I always feel bad like throwing conspiracy theories out there about the media because I'm a part of it. I vote in all this. This appears obvious to me that the brand names mattered perhaps more than the play. And perhaps even like the team you cover might matter a good amount more. Miami, Louisville, Florida State gets one in there. Miami, Clemson, Miami. There's just a lot of Clemson, Louisville, Miami out there. Now, Miami's very, very good, so I'm not going to knock that one as much. But, I mean, are we really looking at Clemson last year and saying there's a whole bunch of All-ACC performers there? Really? Really? Let's get to the awards. Preseason Player of the Year. They have a top 9 here. Darian Mensah once again wins with 97 votes. Kevin Jennings in second. SMU quarterback Isaac Brown of Louisville, 16 votes. One of those is mine. C.J. Bailey, NC State quarterback, 15 votes. Deuce Robinson, wide receiver, 12 votes. Sammy Brown, linebacker from Clemson, who is a beast, don't get me wrong. But if we're being realistic, linebackers never winning Player of the Year. Got 11 votes.
Unless he had like a Manti Te'o Heisman level season.
Even that, I'm not sure.
That'd be the only way to be close.
I'm not sure in this era of college football they give that to a linebacker. Manti's, by the way, I played with Manti. I know Manti. His season was unreal. I'm not sure. Even like in that same era, Ndamukong Suh was a Heisman finalist. I don't know if either of those win their conference players of the year in this era where everybody just gives everything to the quarterback. Sammy Brown, linebacker, Clemson, 11 votes. Cam Robinson, linebacker, Virginia, 5 votes. Wilt Helt, defensive end Clemson, 4 votes, and Mason Heinschel, quarterback Pittsburgh, 3 votes. I think C.J. Bailey is going to look back. This is how it happens. By the way, again, hand up. I went for Isaac Brown, running back of Louisville. I think his speed is a difference maker. I think Louisville is good enough that oftentimes goes to the best player on the best team. And quarterback, running back are kind of the only real options there. I think C.J. Bailey and Isaac Brown, there's 31 total votes for those guys. I think a lot of media members at the end of the year are going to be claiming those 31 votes. That's how I see it. I look at it, and it's going to be, of the 188 media members, about 100 of them are going to say they voted for either Isaac Brown or C.J. Bailey. It happens every year. It's just like, if you talk to like a Duke fan, I'll use Duke because they have a really, obviously Cameron Indoor is a smaller arena. There are Duke games in the 90s that 400,000 people say they were there in attendance for. The arena holds 9,000 people, but for 400,000 say I remember watching Coach K and Leitner and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's impossible. Same thing happens every year in these votes. Because both Isaac Brown and C.J. Bailey, who are 3rd and 4th in Player of the Year voting, they're not hidden. You know what I mean? If somebody completely outside, if Bo Prabula at Virginia has a crazy season, if Walker Eaget at Duke, their quarterback, has a bonkers season, everybody will be okay saying oh, that came out of nowhere, none of us knew. But when it's somebody of Isaac Brown or C.J. Bailey's level, who we all already know is really, really good, and there's really no reason to fade them other than you got sold by the flash and sizzle of Darian Mensah to Miami, you're going to look back and go, I picked them, because they don't want to be the one that didn't. Mark this prediction down. July 29th, 4:23 p.m. We'll be able to find, I'll lower it a little bit. We'll be able to find 50 tweets from people saying that they voted for one of those two by the end of the year. Right before the award is announced. My vote was for, I guarantee you. I'll say it right now. I voted for Isaac Brown, and I hemmed and hawed between Brown and C.J. Bailey. The rest of it, I guess it's a chip on the shoulder yet again for a lot of the teams locally. Right? The chip just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's crazy. 1 from the 4 teams in the state of North Carolina. Duke won the ACC championship. NC State won 8 games. Wake Forest won 9 games. And they all returned some form of good player. I know that the transfer portal changes a lot, but they all returned engines that drove those teams. And they have 1 player combined on the preseason All-ACC list. I find that difficult to believe. But that's our media. That's me, part of it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Hey, Max, let's get into something more fun. I'm done being sad that nobody respects the ACC. Let's get into a blind ranking. All right, what are we blind ranking today, Max?
All right, well, we're here in late July, kind of waiting for a lot of the sports that we mainly cover to kind of get back into swing. We got, training camps going on, but there's games in the NFL and college football still about a month away. So I figured we would blind rank some summer activities that you may do while you're waiting for these games to come back. And I'm interested on your perspective on some of these, because you obviously you have kids,
I do.
You have a family to perhaps do these or maybe not do some of these activities with, depending on which ones you favor.
I've said this a lot of times, but this, no matter when you stopped playing football, meaning tackle football, whenever your career was over, Pop Warner, high school, whatever. August is the year. End of July into August is where you go oh, it's still summer, isn't it? Because my summer, my entire life ended in mid-July, and it was just, that's when you did 4th of July, you had a couple more weeks, and it was over. And then once your career's over, you're we can go to the beach in August? That's nice, actually. It's refreshing to jump in the water rather than going to 2-a-days. So I like thinking of summer activities when football is back in session, because it reminds me that I'm not sore and tired and sweaty all the time.
All right. Well, then we'll just jump right into it here. And you mentioned jumping in the water. That'll be the first activity. It's going to be a pool day. Just heading down to the local pool, whether it's your neighborhood or maybe you belong to a country club or something along that nature. Go into the pool. Maybe sitting out on the chair. Maybe if you got the kids, throw some pool toys in there. Maybe a little pool basketball. Where are you blind ranking a pool day on your blind ranking of summer activities?
Can I ask one clarification?
Yeah.
Does the pool have a diving board?
It can in this scenario.
Okay.
It's your ideal version of whatever one of these.
The diving boards are going extinct. Like any new pool put in, especially a residential pool, it feels like there's no more diving boards. I'm a big diving board guy. I was always the look what I can do. And you do like a twist flip and you feel way cooler than you actually look. And right now, speaking of kids, I'm at the age I've got a 5-year-old son, 5.5, something like that. He thinks flips are like awesome, and I can do a whole bunch of them. So I'm like a superhero right now. Eventually, he can do a front flip. We're pretty proud of him. But it's very much like a whoa, dad, which is very cool and is going to expire very soon once his friends can do cooler moves than I can. So I'll put a pool day at number 3. I know you don't like going 3 first, but I think pool day is like a pool party. Hanging out at the pool, I think it's great right in the middle there.
It's Dennis's rule. It's not my rule. I never have to do these. I only produce them. So.
But I'll also go this way. Just as diving boards are going extinct, I'm seeing the slow rise. I don't even know what they're called. Have you seen the pools that have like the 4-inch deep section? Where I don't even, like you can put your chair and have your feet in the water or kind of sit there and play.
I see those at some of like the new apartment complexes. Like they have the chairs that dip down into it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but they're kind of nice. I never thought that would be a move for me, but it's a way to be like half in the pool. Or if I have also a 1-year-old daughter, you can kind of splash around with her there, and it's not as much work. So yeah, I'm in on a pool day.
All right, we'll go over to another water activity or water destination. The next activity will be a beach trip. Headed down to the beach, maybe lay out on the sand. Maybe you play like bocce or spike ball or something like that. You can maybe skimboard in the water, dive under the waves, whatever you like to do. You've got 1, 2, 4, and 5 open. Where are you blind ranking a beach trip in terms of summer activities?
I'm interested where you go from here. Pool and beach are very like right down the middle. And there's a million different ways you could go from here. I love the beach. I grew up on beaches, not like literally on the sand, but born close enough that I could just like bounce to the beach. And some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, whether it be like Ocean City, New Jersey, Kaneohe/Kailua, Hawaii, Ocean City, Maryland, born in Florida. So I've been around beaches. Love beaches. I also love getting my kids to the beach. The one downside at this stage of my life is I'm kind of the only one carrying anything to the beach. My wife manages getting the kids there, and I have like a wagon, wheels that don't work well in the sand ever, and 9,000 sunshades and toys and spike ball and shovels. So it's like a workout. I got to save some energy for the way back to the car. But I'm putting it number 2. It's not number 1 just because of the walk down to setting up the tent and then the walk back. But everything else about it, I love the beach.
All right, so far, blind ranking summer activities. You've got a beach trip at 2 and a pool day at number 3. So you've got 1, 4, and 5 open. And the next summer activity you're going to blind rank is a trip to the amusement park. You've got carousels, roller coasters. You can get a funnel cake. Maybe they got water rides there. It just depends on where you're going and what you're into and what activities. Maybe sometimes some of them have shows so you can go to with the family, or they might have like some kind of observation deck or something of that nature. Where are you going to rank the amusement park on summer activities?
So I'm a bit spoiled here. I'm putting it number 5. My parents live in Orlando and have some hookups at Disney, Universal, that kind of deal. So I love an amusement park. Love an amusement park. I am in a weird stage right now where the adults, my son and my daughter, are very different in the rides that they want to go on. I want to do the big crazy roller coasters. My son wants to do the spinny ones or the smaller roller coaster. Like he wants to do the ones that he's tall enough to ride. My daughter needs to be like on Dumbo, right? Like there's all 3 different there. But the reason why it's number 5 is I can't stand an amusement park when it's 100 degrees outside. The lines become miserable. Kids become whiny. And not only like just mine, like everyone you bump into is in like a bad mood because they're just like, oh,
yeah, it's hot.
Don't hit me.
You're walking a lot.
Yeah.
The food and drink is expensive.
You brought up the shows. Like you want to go to a show just because you get to sit inside in air conditioning for like 19 minutes or however long those little shows are. They get you coming and going with the drinks and the ices. It's like, oh, is it 100 degrees outside? Sure, get a cold lemonade. How much is it? $47 for two. It absolutely smokes you. So I'm a big fan of it. I love amusement parks. Spring or fall. Give me spring or fall, or if you're down in Florida, winter is fine. But definitely, I'm not middle of the summer guy.
The secret is like if you go like on a weekday, and especially if you go after like 3 or 4 o'clock, like especially the families like with younger kids will have cleared out by then, and usually the lines aren't so bad. That's just the last time I went, which was honestly I haven't been to Carowinds in many years, or like Busch Gardens up there in Virginia,
or vice versa. Get there at open and do as much as you can.
I feel like it's usually pretty crowded,
right?
Open, no matter what.
You can. I a lot of times I go to amusement park. I go with my brother and my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law has got like the itinerary. We're going to run here. We're going to get our fast pass. Then we're going to go here. We're going to get through that one. We're going to head over here. We're going to get to that one. And the crowds haven't made it to this part. And I don't know why she doesn't talk fast when she says it. But we know exactly where we're going to go, and we execute it usually pretty well. Sometimes a bathroom break or two will get us thrown off. But we execute it pretty well, and we get a lot done. And then the rest of the day is kind of gravy because you already knocked out the bigger. Because, I mean, really the only issue is if you don't – there's like 4 rides at every amusement park you have to hit, right? And
well, I mean, sometimes more if it's like a big time.
And if you don't get to those, it's a huge catastrophe. If you get to those, then everything else is gravy. So I always try to knock them out early.
By the way, have you seen they just announced this new ride that's going at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey? So it used to be King to Ka, which was the tallest roller coaster in the world. They tore it down. They're putting in this new ride called Bakunawa. It is the world's fastest and tallest spinning launch coaster. So the ride vehicles spin. It's going to have an upside-down launch.
All right.
And it's going to go up 382 feet into this like spiral at the top, and the track just like stops. It's just a absolutely bizarre-looking ride.
Hey, engineers, have fun with that one.
Yeah, the first ever upside-down launch is going to be on a upside down and spinning and like 100 miles an hour.
But see, that's why I'm in a bad time of life for that. Because if you go there, I assume that line will be bonkers.
Oh, I'm sure. And you can only run like one train at a time because it's not a full circuit. It comes back down backwards once it gets to the top.
So that line will be bonkers. I can't steal away from the kids to go wait for 4 hours in a line to go on the cool ride. 0% chance can the kids be on it in the next 12 years. So I'm just I'd have to go like solo or with adults, and I don't know, as a parent you feel kind of guilty going to an amusement park and leaving your kids at home.
All right, so fittingly placed at number 5. So your current ranking, you've got the beach at number 2, you've got a day at the pool at number 3, and you got amusement park at 5. So 1 and 4 are open in this blind ranking of summer activities. And the next activity, fittingly enough, is going to be a baseball game. Going to a baseball game, maybe taking down a couple hot dogs or beers or frozen lemonade, whatever is your speed. Could be for the sake of this exercise, could be minor league, could be MLB if you were to live somewhere where that's in your market. Just enjoying a day at the ballpark. I actually went on Saturday. I was in San Francisco visiting a friend. Oracle Park out there, just a beautiful, and the weather is like couldn't be more perfect. So I guess kind of factor that in just for the sake of the exercise. Consider it to be like a perfect day. 70 degrees, maybe a slight breeze, partly cloudy. Going out to a baseball game. Where are you going to rank that? You got 1 and 4 open.
I'm going number 1. I'm not going to worry about being the cliche sports radio host that gets romantic about baseball. I think a baseball game, assuming the weather isn't, I mean, if it's like 105, it's tough. If you can get a shade spot, that helps a lot. If you got one of those little fans, that helps a lot if you're with kids. But there's something magical about baseball. Like my son right now, he tends to rotate through movies that he wants to watch. Like every time we do movie nights on weekends, one night, get the popcorn out. We watched Space Jam about 1,000 times. We've moved on. We did Mighty Ducks a bunch of times. We've moved on to Sandlot. We've watched The Sandlot like 4 times in the last 6 weeks. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Like and by the way, watching a baseball game is perfect for people that you actually enjoy, because like basketball, there's really no talk, right? Like timeouts, you get to talk, but other than that, you're watching. Baseball, there's plenty of time to talk. There's plenty of time to get a hot dog. There's plenty of time to catch up. So, no pun intended. So I'm going baseball number one. And also one of the first dates I went on with my wife was at a baseball game. It was at an Orioles game. We were up against the wall in right field.
Nice.
There's
that's a good ballpark
little
too.
nostalgia. I mean, yeah,
Baltimore.
They're from Baltimore, so Camden Yards is
a great park. Or Oracle, I have to say, is probably one of my favorites. I haven't been to a ton, but like I've been to Fenway. I'll take Fenway out of the equation because I'm a Red Sox fan. There's bias there, but I think I prefer it to Camden Yards. I definitely prefer it over like Nationals Park and Turner Field. I haven't been to the new Braves Park, but I would probably take Oracle over that as well. It's just so cool right over there in the water. There were people like in the boats there in the cove waiting for splash hits to come down. There's a kid like floating around on a air mattress out there in the water. It was just really cool. So on a perfect day, a baseball game can be just a perfect summer activity. So that left open your 4 spot, and the last activity on this blind ranking is going to be, it depends what you call it. I just kind of put it as a cookout, but you could call it a barbecue or like a block party, something like that. Just getting together with friends, family, neighbors, grilling out, hot dogs, hamburgers, and just kind of enjoying each other's company. So that's going to go in the 4 spot for you. So your final ranking of summer activities: baseball game number 1, beach trip number 2, pool day number 3, cookout number 4, and trip to the amusement park is at number 5.
I actually really like this list. The only thing I would add is that most of these, unless the baseball game's a night game, most of these I end with a cookout, right? Like if you're at the pool, kids are in the pool, everybody's having a good time, everybody's getting tired, maybe a little sunburn. All right, fire up the grill. Let's get out. Let's play some games with the kids in the yard, and then everybody grabs a dog or a burger or whatever you're cooking, and you roll with it. You get home from the beach. I'm a big fan of, all right, everybody gets showered up, especially if you're all staying at like a beach house or somebody's house that you know. Everybody gets showered up, get some hors d'oeuvres out. I'll start the grill, fire it up. By the time everyone's done with the shower, food will be ready, and we go into the next part of the event. So I like a cookout as an addition on a lot of these, but individual, just a cookout, yeah, I'll put it at number 4. I'm fine with that. All right, so that's my list. I don't even know if I would change anything. Max, what say you? I had to rank them blind. You with the gift of sight. Which one are you picking?
Yeah, I think I'd stick with the baseball game at number 1. Although I'm a huge thrill seeker, so I'm bumping amusement park all the way up to number 2. Like,
not an exaggeration. At your age, I think amusement park would be number 2.
Yeah, like especially big thrill rides. Now, if it was, it obviously depends on the park because some have like better rides than others. But
honestly, beach might have been number 1, amusement park 2, baseball game 3 for me at your age.
That's the other thing for me is like I'm just not that big of a beach guy, and maybe it's just because I really don't like sand, and I feel like Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars whenever I say that. But I don't know. Sometimes I can just get a little, I guess, understimulated at the beach. I can get a little bit bored. And I don't love the pool either. When you batch in kind of the other kind of tourist activities you can do when you go to the beach, I kind of rate it a little bit above the pool. So I would probably go baseball 1, amusement park 2. I'll put the beach at 3, leave the cookout in 4. I'm going to put pool day at 5. Although if it's really hot out, then maybe that could change. But
I was going to say, pool to me isn't like a beach. Like it's not like if you're at a touristy thing. That's like you can't make it to the beach, but you got a neighbor with a pool, or your pool yourself or a community pool, something like that. That's what I was thinking. I would never choose pool over beach at the beach. That's
no, I mean that's not what I'm saying either. But
actually, side note, and this is not against anybody. Like you do you. I just don't understand it. I'm happy you're happy. When I'm at the beach and I see like, say there's a boardwalk, say there's some obvious where like you get to see hotels, I'm baffled when people are like they can see the ocean and they spend all day in a pool. That makes no sense to me.
Unless there's like a lazy river attached. That can change
maybe
things.
For part like middle of the day for a second, but there's a beach. The beach is right there. And if you're not from there, you can do a pool anywhere. You came to the beach to do the pool. Again, do you, whatever makes you happy, but goodness, I don't understand that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is a little blind ranking for you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, your reactions to conversations we've had. It's something we call a feedback frenzy coming up.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things that I love about Law Tigers and Law Tigers attorneys is that it was built by riders for the motorcycle riding community. It was put together over 25 years ago to make sure that people in the motorcycle riding community, if they're ever injured in an accident, that they have people representing them that understand what their bike is worth, what the gear is worth, but also understand the dangers of the road and what it's like to go through an accident. That's why with Law Tigers, your case evaluation, it's always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So if you're ever in a motorcycle accident, you're not at fault, give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they are there to fight for you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. LawTigers.com, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
Move your sports day forward.
Soccer put its best foot forward this summer and tried everything it could to not put its foot in its mouth. Stellar play from the world's top stars in Messi and Mbappe, and a cult social media hero in the chiseled Viking Erling Haaland. It's a shame this will all be forgotten for another 4 years. Maybe we could get Shakira and the Muppets to do a yearly halftime show.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Yeah. Can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised before the break, I put Max on it. I got him searching through all of our YouTube videos, which, by the way, if you don't already, subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. And then once you're subscribed, jump into the YouTube comment sections. Could be a live stream comment, could be a video that we post comment, but jump into the comments, make good points, make good arguments, say something interesting, and you might just hear about it here on the show in segments that we call Feedback Frenzy. All right, Max, what do you got for us?
All right, well, some of the biggest news of the week this week was at UNC and UNC football with their general manager, Michael Lombardi, being placed on administrative leave. There hasn't really been a report that has shed at least the full light on the reason why. There's been some reporting that it's an unspecified HR complaint that this is stemming from. We had a comment on a conversation about this from yesterday from Sonny, who said paid leave equals pack your stuff up, remain quiet, don't say a word, you're going to be fired, and if you say anything, you'll be sued.
Yeah, listen, I've never really mixed up in the corporate world like that. And knock on wood, luckily I've never been put on paid leave, so I don't want to know what it seems like to me is we're going to part ways. This is, again, seems like. We intend to part ways with you. We need to figure out if we have cause. We need to figure out how bad it was, how deep it goes, who else knows. Or perhaps we're all wrong, right? Because I guess there's a world where you go, actually, pending the investigation, it seems normal. So it's I don't think it's good news by any stretch for Lombardi or anybody that's been put on paid administrative leave, but I don't pretend to know the exact ins and outs of why or what is going on there. I'm just not that deep in the corporate world.
Yeah, I assume he's probably not coming back either. I would tend to agree with the commenter there.
But also, I believe I saw, and this could be a give or take $1 million. I believe I saw his buyout something like $3 million. So it could just be we need to figure out how much we're going to try to buy you out for, negotiate that down based on what we know, and we want to make sure we have our ducks in a row. Because the one thing that schools hate doing and owners in professional sports hate doing is paying people to work for not you. So if they can get out of some of the money they owe him, that's probably what they're investigating now.
All right, we'll shift gears to the Carolina Panthers, as we know, going through padded practices at training camp right now. And on the first day of training camp, we had a conversation just about the thoughts through one day. Jonathan Brooks was mentioned, as well as other positions of need, some positions with new players, and some positions dealing with some injuries. This was a comment from Paul on that video. He said, Panthers are very thin at defensive tackle and inside linebacker and need to get a couple of veterans. No A'Shawn Robinson, no Turk Wharton, and now Bobby Brown is out with hamstring issues, meaning he wasn't in great shape coming into the spring and summer, which is very disappointing to see as the team is counting on him. So it's Derek Brown, LeBron Tay. I'm not sure who he was trying to write there, if that's the name, and rookie Lee Hunter.
I believe he was probably talking about LeBrian Ray as the other defensive tackle. Believe he was probably talking about LeBrian Ray as the other defensive tackle. Listen, I don't think the Panthers have depth at any position. They may have had depth at one position, and it would have been offensive tackle, and that is already eaten up by Taylor Moton not being available. I really don't think they have depth at any position. Maybe now. I'm not even going to go there. I was going to say maybe corner, but not really. It took them this long, meaning years, right? Like, think about when Dan Morgan took over, to get to a starting lineup that I think they feel comfortable with. They have not thought about getting a second string that they feel comfortable with, because it's quite frankly unrealistic to worry about that before you have the starters there. So, yeah, any injury is going to hurt, and especially if it's to somebody who you planned on playing a ton of snaps like Nick Scorton. So I'm with you on all the scariness that happened there.
All right, this was another comment, and this is regarding Jonathan Brooks and his recovery from his, I believe it's ACL injuries that he's dealt with. It's from Wesley. He said, how many ACL injuries did 58 go through? Referring to Thomas Davis.
This is funny. We did this earlier this week, and you and Dennis hit the same, I think it's a different commenter, but the same idea.
Yeah, he can come back and be better than he ever was the rest of that comment. And someone did reply and say he wasn't a running back.
The linebacker is the running back of the defense. Thomas Davis he had 3. Again, it's worth bringing up again. 2010, 2011, 2012, or it may have been 09, 10, 11. ACL. First of all, don't bank on that, right? It's not like, Jonathan Brooks, he has one more he can still get to and be okay, because Thomas Davis was. Thomas Davis is a unbelievable story. I don't know how repeatable that is. But I do want to point out Jonathan Brooks. I don't know if there's been a PR winner bigger than Jonathan Brooks anywhere in the NFL through 7 practices. Today he was running routes out, split out wide, catching deep balls. I'm actually a little worried by it, because I think he's so important as a running back that it's like, if you're going to use snaps of him on the field, put him in the backfield, let him be a running back, because you need him to be a running back. You have other guys that can run routes split out wide. But heck, the fact that he has the ability to really intrigues me. His role in the passing game will be fascinating, because as great as Rico Dowdle was last year, and Chuba Hubbard has shown a base level in the passing game, if you get a true dynamic player out of the backfield, you really haven't had that, obviously, since Christian McCaffrey. So we'll see if he can do it. But the hype train is rolling for Jonathan Brooks.
Hopefully I won't do any more repeat comments. I actually heard one the other day that I had to skip over about crapping in the sink or sinking in the crap.
I still don't know what that means.
Yeah, but hopefully this is not a repeat. This is from the video we did in the immediate aftermath of Nick Scorton being ruled out for the season with an injury on the first day of training camp. This is from Cody, who said, "This really sucks. Outside of Bryce Young, T-Mac, and Derek Brown, this is the worst major injury we could have had. Absolutely brutal." And I wanted to bring you that one because I disagree with this commenter, but I want to know what your thoughts are.
My first reaction, and by the way, maybe we'll do that exercise later this week, like the 10 most irreplaceable, because I actually think that's a good one to establish early, because sometimes a player gets hurt and a fan base is like, no, we'll never survive. And it's like, dude, I think if I would have asked you 2 days before the injury if he was one of the most, the 20 highest leverage players, you would have said no. But just people like being dramatic after injuries. I want to say my gut reaction was that he is a top 10 most irreplaceable player. Would they have him 4? Nowhere near 4. Like it's 10, maybe 10 to 15, more so than it is top 5. Did they just say that he's more valuable than like J.C. Horn? Because that to me is like super obviously no. He's very important. The reason why I was so bummed, and there's a bunch of reasons, but the number one reason why I was so bummed about Nick Scorton is he was the player I was most excited to see if he could level up, right? The guys that are most indispensable, most irreplaceable are guys we know. Fact. Derek Brown, very, very good. Unbelievable player. Fact. J.C. Horn, fact. Mike Jackson, based on last year, probably fact more important. But Nick Scorton he was good last year, and he had like a lottery ticket element of just imagine what he could be. So I'm mourning the chance for us to see what he could be as much as I am mourning the loss of the player that we know he is.
Yeah, I would just say in terms of, it says like worst major injury they could have, at least in terms of this season, like Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn,
Derek Brown,
Jalen Phillips, even at his own position, I think would be a bigger hit.
Devin
just
Lloyd,
how much they paid for him and how much pass rush is of need. It's still bad, but the guy that you paid up for
right now, either of the offensive tackles. Now, if Moten comes back, you obviously have some wiggle room there. Teteroa McMillan, Bryce Young, likely one of the guards. Like he's probably around 10 is where I'd put him.
I think
10
that's
to 15.
fair. I think that's fair. This is another comment from that video. This is from Derek, who said, "I remember when Kelvin Benjamin went down in camp and everyone said we were done, but we ended up 15-1 and in the Super Bowl."
Yes. That happened. You can't argue with the facts. The context, a little bit different. The 2015 Panthers team, don't disrespect the rest of the roster outside of Kelvin Benjamin, okay? If this year's team had Cam Newton, I would feel different about it. If it had Greg Olsen, Jonathan Stewart, I would feel different about it. On defense, if it had a player we already brought up, Thomas Davis, I would feel different about it. There's a Luke Kuechly, Josh Norman, Charles Tillman, Peanut. There's a ton of players that would have made me feel better about it. This year they have good players, don't get me wrong. I love J.C. Horn. I love Derek Brown. Best players on the defense. They're not Luke Kuechly, right? I'm a big fan of Teteroa McMillan. Huge fan of Teteroa McMillan. If he's the best player on the offense, he's not as good as Cam Newton. It's a different beast.
All right, there's one more here. It's a bit of a long one,
okay,
but we'll finish it off with this. This is from Socrates L2D.
Socrates, what's up?
It wasn't artificial turf that hurt his ACL. From what I understand, this was during practice on one of the local practice fields.
Correct.
But it was a wet field, and those fields have notoriously bad rain conditions. In terms of tier list, I would say a real grass field with drainage is optimal. Artificial turf in the stadium is next, and the real grass turf you find otherwise is bottom of the barrel. The conditions you get in the rain on these fields is not something the players will ever experience on game day, and even many high school level fields have better grass maintenance than what you find on them. Tepper has all of this money but cannot get us proper game day or practice fields, so you get things like this, where Nick is slipping and falling on wet turf before the camp even gets going full steam. But hey, at least we have concerts and soccer, right, guys? Why not just hold practice in an ice rink next time to get players ready for the season?
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about turf to agree with or disagree with any of that. Honestly, I also don't know the drainage at the Panthers practice facility. I do think we need to get better about certain injuries, just throwing our hands up and going bad luck. If you're running around, like, what are they supposed to do? Never practice if it drizzles? I don't know what. I have an indoor practice facility, but indoor practice facilities are turf. People don't like turf. It's a very, very tough needle to thread. Sometimes when you're running around playing sports, you're going to get hurt. Sometimes, by the way, you get hurt not doing that. Sometimes you get hurt stepping off a curb. And I'm not saying, like, hey, you can get in a car accident on the way to the office, so don't go to I'm just saying I think we need to get better at going, that's a bummer. I hate that it happened. Maybe we don't have to blame somebody specifically. It's football. You play it in the rain. Rain on grass. You play in rain. You play on grass.
We can't prevent all injuries, or else you're going to end up with Sarcastiball from South Park.
Exactly. I mean, the guy hurt his knee. It happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It stinks, don't get me wrong, but it happens. The starting five is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Experience legendary craftsmanship with an Omega timepiece. From the iconic Speedmaster that journeyed to the moon to the sleek Seamaster made famous by the world's most stylish spy, Omega watches are built for precision, adventure, and timeless elegance. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District, explore a curated selection of Omega timepieces that speak to your legacy. Whether you're starting a collection or adding your next chapter, find your perfect fit at Bailey's, voted best jeweler. Visit BaileyBox.com to learn more.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. We've got a beautiful night ahead for the forecast low. We dip down to 65 degrees. Skies are clear and the humidity continues to fall. Thursday should be the least hot and least humid day of the week. 88 degrees with plenty of sunshine.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 1,153 points to 51,594.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Wednesday. It is 5 o'clock, and that means it is time for the starting five, brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. For roofing, siding, windows, and doors, trust the team that's been doing good work for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing the Carolinas since 1915. BakerHomeExteriors.com. With that, we start the starting five with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Macklin Celebrini. 5 years, $18.8 million average annual value. Sticking with San Jose through the 2032 season. That contract kicks in not this year, the year after. Is big money for one of the best young players in the game. Do you know what I thought was interesting about this? Because everything in a salary cap sport should really be considered percentage of the cap than total dollars, right? $18.8 million makes him the highest paid player in NHL history. But also the cap is larger than it's ever been and growing, probably at a faster rate than it ever has. If you look at it, the three players that are going to be grouped together forever and ever, when you look at, like, I don't even know if it's a full generation, like mini generations, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini. They're actually very similar in their first big contract for how much percentage of the cap. Now, the dollar figures are very different, but it's around 16% of the cap, which I assume is what agents use to negotiate, right? It's, we want a Sid contract, but specifically, we want a Sid contract based on where the cap is and where it's going. So it's Macklin Celebrini is like a half percentage higher than I think it was McDavid. But also the cap is expected to go up in the next couple of years. So by the time his extension hits, it'll be almost right in line. That's how a lot of people think about this. That's how a lot of people in other sports think about it, right? Football quarterbacks, they make a certain percentage of the cap. Then you got to figure out the cap. It's a little bit of a math problem. Same thing here. The only time that becomes an issue, and I'm not saying it will because Macklin Celebrini is awesome. I want to be very clear. I'm not disparaging Macklin Celebrini. But the only time that becomes an issue is if the teams you are competing with are somehow not raising at the same level. If their best players are not in the same ballpark as your best players, you have to be even better around your best player, right? If we all acknowledge that Connor McDavid is better, we'll just call him someone we know in his group, in his generation, and also we're very familiar with. If you say Connor McDavid is worth more money than Sebastian Aho, cool. Well, what you have to make sure that happens is it's not like Aho plus two other great players and a depth forward all within what you get Connor McDavid for, because then that math changes, right? So it's spending appropriately is the move. What the Canes have been able to do that San Jose has not, and many other teams with very, very good players have not, is they've limited their misses. Right? The McDavid contracts, the Draisaitl contracts, the Celebrini contracts, we can go on and on. Those are easy. You pay him what you got to pay him to keep him, because if you don't, you'll never forgive yourself. But once you do that, the degree of difficulty on the rest of your roster becomes much, much, much more important. The Canes maybe don't have that contract, but they also don't have bad contracts. The Athletic put out the contract efficiency rankings, which we'll talk about later in the show, about 5:45. There are no bad contracts on the Canes. Not on the everyday skaters. You could say the Kotkaniemi contract isn't great, but that's even becoming less and less painful each year with where the cap is going. That's the That's the true fight. Make sure you have no bad contracts, and then your good contracts will shine. Sometimes I think teams have awesome contracts just to make up for a really bad contract they have. It's like, oh, great, we got this guy for way under market value. Now we can pay this other guy way over market value, and we're even. That's not going to put together the best roster. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
So the reports are out there. Flushing at Golf is the first place I saw it. That the LIV, it was a big news a while ago, not as much recently. LIV Golf Team Championship was supposed to be held next month in Michigan, has been canceled. That's the reports out there. Max, I know you're a golf guy. I'm also a golf nerd. I have my thoughts on LIV. I'm sure you do as well. Have we seen the last of LIV? Is it nail and coffin dunzo time?
I hope so, but they've the further reporting on this today was they've delayed the announcement of the team championship cancellation, which to me says they're going to try to still put it on. And the LIV Golf players and staff got sent a long email from the CEO Scott O'Neill today. He's saying, they're still trying to find investors towards a LIV 2.0, as he put it, as they would go on forward next year. But he didn't really seem to mention the team championship in Michigan too specifically. But they mentioned trying to finish a successful 2026 season, things of that nature. But I guess we won't officially see this announcement. I'm hoping that it's over soon, or maybe this LIV 2.0 is just kind of minor league golf, and they can become like a feeder league or something, because
they're getting minor league golf in 2028 with the championship and the Challenger Series.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
so
PGA,
so
nothing related to LIV.
Well, so there's just no need for LIV. Like there never has been. There never has been. Other than some players have gotten paid a little bit more as a result of it. So I guess if that was their goal, they accomplished it at the expense of fragmenting professional golf for this however many 5 years now. So hopefully we can get these players back into one cohesive league in pro golf, and we can just kind of forget that this happened and not do it again.
I think it's donezo. I think it's a Rapski. I think LIV is done, and it was a bad experiment.
Their purses for these events are like $30 million. How did they ever think that was going to, other than just because the Saudi Public Investment Fund just has like unlimited money, but like eventually they had to realize like they're not getting a return on investment on this. The sports washing aspect of that's like everyone's seen right through it from the get-go, so that did nothing either.
All right, do we want to nerd out real quick? I think they dramatically misread the loyalty of certain stars to the PGA Tour, and here's why. I don't think they wanted to have that ridiculously high purses forever and ever. I think what they established, what they were hoping would happen, like big box store. This is a business fable. I don't know if it's true or not. But the rumor, the myth always was that if a Walmart was put in a small store or a small town, and there was a mom and pop bicycle shop next door, and they wanted to put the mom and pop bicycle shop out of order or out of business, they would sell bikes at a loss. They would lose money on bikes. They'd sell them at 50%, and Walmart didn't care if they were losing money because they knew that then everybody would go over to Walmart. They'd stop using the mom and pop shop, and the mom and pop shop wouldn't be able to exist. They would go out of business. And then once the mom and pop shop went out of business, they would charge their bikes 200% because now everybody had to come to them. I think what LIV was hoping to do was put so much money in front of PGA Tour golfers that everybody left the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour crumbled. They now had LIV. And then they could go back to running it like a business that would make money rather than a business that was trying to put the other business out of business. The issue was everybody, meaning Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and Scotty Scheffler and all these guys, they kept going to the mom and pop shop long enough that Walmart went, I don't want to keep doing this. The only issue I have, I hope we have a unified tour and we're good. I still want the players that stuck with LIV forever and ever to be punished in a big way. I want to say like, you have to give 50% of everything you made from LIV to the PGA Tour, and then you can come back to the PGA Tour. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't know how they're already letting guys back, the Brookses and everything, if they can find a way. But I want them to still be punished. That's just me. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. The 2026 All-ACC preseason football team came out about an hour ago. We've talked about it once. We'll talk about it again here. The only player from any state of North Carolina team, meaning Carolina, Duke, NC State, or Wake Forest, that made the All-ACC preseason football team, made the offense, and it was tight end Jeremiah Hazley of Duke. He received 61 out of the 188 tight end votes, which was enough to make the preseason All-ACC team. Darian Mensah, quarterback, formerly of Duke, now of Miami, prior to that, Tulane. He is the quarterback on the All-ACC preseason team. He is also the All-ACC preseason player of the year. Here's what I'll say. 9 Miami players. That's a lot. Clemson and Virginia, 4 selections each. Louisville, SMU, 2 apiece. Boston College, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech each had 1. I think there should have been more representation from teams in the state of North Carolina, but I don't know if I can say that without all of you just going, you're a homer. NC State won 8 games last year. Wake Forest won 9 games last year. Duke won the ACC championship last year. I can't imagine they did that without any good players returning. What I will say is NC State quarterback C.J. Bailey finished 4th in preseason player of the year voting. So while he wasn't an all-ACC player, he appears to be the 3rd kind of preseason hype quarterback behind Darian Mensah, who is the preseason player of the year, and Kevin Jennings of SMU, who finished 2nd in preseason player of the year. But other than that, there's just not really a lot of local representation, which I think plays into, again, the lack of hype around these teams. We talked about yesterday with the order of predicted finish. State is the highest local team at 7, Duke 10, I think Wake's 14, and then, or I might be a little off on that. And then UNC is even below there. If you're going to open eyes, you're going to have to do it with your play. If you're going to have any kind of hype, you're going to have to do it with your performances. NC State against Virginia week 0, you're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you. Carolina plays week 0 in Dublin. You're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you. Those first real statement games that you have, you're going to have to play well. You're going to have to make a statement to get yourself into those mixes. But as I've said a few times, let alone conference players of the year or conference, all ACC, whatever, all conference teams, like we've had number 1 picks come out of nowhere the last few years, right? Cam Ward came out of nowhere when he went to Duke. Fernando Mendoza came out of nowhere when he went to Indiana. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. And also the media loves Miami. Anything stand out to you, Max, that I missed?
No, yeah, the triangle in the state of North Carolina, again, only having the 1 player. I guess it's not that surprising, although it does kind of stick out.
I think with 2 running backs, you could have put Nate Shepard in there. I think C.J. Bailey would have been an option in there.
But with Darian Mensah, C.J. Bailey's not getting that nod over the preseason player of the year. He was even behind Jennings for the
I think the Darian Mensah hype has gotten a little crazy. I think there's some defensive players that could have been in there. I think there's some Melkart Abujade from UNC is the returning leading sack guy in the ACC. He did not make the first team defense. There's some options there that I'm a little upset with. What number was that? That was number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us. Snap to Wilson up the middle, and he slices in, touchdown. 4:01 to play as Will Wilson runs in another score to make it 38-32, pending the PAT.
NC State practice open today for this season, football practice, right? It's training camp. The reason why I bring it up is, hey, there's hype around C.J. Bailey, but it's the kind of hype that people are protecting themselves. Outside of those that are right here in the triangle, everybody likes to mention C.J. Bailey, but they make sure to go like a dark horse. They make sure to go a player I like who has a chance to maybe. There's not hard predictions. Wear that. Take that as a disrespect. Prove people wrong. You're not a sleeper. Go look at C.J. Bailey's stats from last year. Why in the world is everybody calling him a dark horse and a sleeper when he threw for 3,105 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, ran the ball well, 6 more touchdowns there. Like the rating, the QBR are all amongst the top in the ACC. Like why is it all of this like, hey, don't tell anybody, but I think C.J. Bailey might have a good season. Why not run to the top of the rafters and yell that he might have a good season? And you could tell, you could very much tell, at ACC kickoff when we talked to Dave Doran or when Dave Doran interacted really with anybody up there during his media availabilities, they want to put pressure on this guy. He needs to be great. They're building their team around him. They're building their hopes and dreams on him. But there's no like, hey, I want to undersell and over-deliver. I want to under-promise and over-deliver. They want everybody to know they got one here. It's actually one of my favorite versions of like coach mood, because we interview coaches, we talk to coaches all the time. One of my favorite archetypes of a coach to talk to is one that is really confident in a secret, where they're just like, wait till you see here. Wait till you see what we have going on. And I got those vibes about Dave Doran's offense, and specifically C.J. Bailey, where he's like, yeah, you want to talk about it? We can talk about it. Like, whatever you're going to say here to hype up my team, I'm willing to one-up you and go higher.
Yeah, the offense was really good last year, and we talked about it earlier, but the thing that could maybe really lift them up to success this year is if they can get the defense to kind of get back to that level that we were more used to over the last couple of years. I know there was some difficulty last year with DJ Elliott in his first year. It wasn't the smoothest season. So
they got better, though.
Yeah, and then now they'll be able to kind of settle in, hopefully kind of bring the floor up for that side of the ball, whereas the offense already had a stellar year last year. If they can even build on that, if Duke Scott can come in with the premier role now,
and Davion Goss and coming transfer from UNC
as well, and he's played with C.J. Bailey as well, so the familiarity there could be good. This team, it could be the year for them to finally get that double-digit win total. They've been trying. They've been somewhat close a couple of these years, so maybe they can finally put it all together. But again, I think we'll know pretty early on in the season whether or not that's going to be a possibility.
The question everybody asks every year around Dave Doran is, can he win 10 games? Can he win 10 games? Can he win 10 games? Can NC State as a program win 10 games? They've only done it once.
Can they go to the ACC championships? That's what someone mentioned in the YouTube chat.
They can.
He also mentioned that they temper the expectations because the state fans have been burned before.
Well, here's the number one thing. You can't, and I've used this example in the past about NC State. You can't be Seabiscuit from the movie, not the real Seabiscuit. In the Seabiscuit movie, they make it real dramatized, the racehorse, that the horse has to fall behind early and catch mud in its face in order to recognize like it's time to win, right? And the trainer and the jockey and everybody knows that this horse has to be like facing adversity before it works hard. That can't be State. You can't like lose and have everybody go against you before you rally. We've seen so many times, right? The Brendan Armstrong, I'm a grown bleep man year. Last year, the defense really put it together at the end. They won whatever it was, 5 of their last 6. It can't be that. It has to be you take care of business early and just keep getting better. You can't go have a close game against Western Carolina and lose one that you shouldn't.
Can't have that loss you did last year against Virginia Tech at home.
Yes, it can't. It can't. Like, we know the ability is there specifically on offense, but also we talked with Jaden Duke Scott, the running back, at ACC kickoff, and we did lightning round scouting reports for the new guys on defense. The amount of guys he said speed for. They should have a much faster defense. But, like, if you look at the first 4 games, it's at Virginia versus Richmond at home, at Vanderbilt versus App State at home. Like, you got to win those. You know what I mean? You can't lose 2 of those, so you're 2-2 and your whole fan base bails, and then you buck up and bow your neck and storm down the stretch to get everybody back on your side. So then next year we're sitting here doing the same thing again, going, hey, can you go 10-10 based or 10 wins based on how you end? You have to do it from the jump. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go 1!
Panthers practice today. It was their second day in pads. We've talked a lot about the Chris Brazzell injury. For those of you just tuning in, Chris Brazzell, third-round rookie wide receiver, non-contact injury during 7-on-7. There's a knee scan done, and it turns out it is a moderately torn LCL in his left knee, and he's expected to miss up to 8 weeks. Outside of that, which is a big, like, you know, aside from that, how was the show, Mrs. Lincoln? It was a apparently great day for the offense, for the Panthers. Great day for Bryce. Great day for Tedero McMillan. Great day for Xavier Legette. J.C. Horn in his postgame presser said that the Panthers offense whipped their bleep for most of practice. Jonathan Brooks was lining up wide, catching contested deep balls down the sideline. A good day for the offense. I'm not going to act like that makes them a good offense or that makes me higher on their offense, but it's good for vibes. It is good for vibes. Don't get me wrong. Let's play some audio for you from Dave Canales, obviously head coach. He talked about Bryce Young continuing to take the next step, which I feel like we've been talking about for 3 years now. Here's Dave Canales.
Bryce is continuing to just take the next steps. What I see from Bryce right now is just ownership and mastery of the concepts, and now I just see the timing, the rhythm, and just the me to you factor with his guys. And watching him throw anticipatory balls to T-Mac, to Jalen, to David Moore, showed up again with another touchdown. It's like one a day. It's vitamin D, so Demo shows up and makes a play. So I just see his level of comfort really showing up with the guys, and I'm excited as we just continue to build on that.
I do not want David Moore to be a part of the offense. That is no disrespect to David Moore. It's more of respect to the other guys in the locker room that are, I think, at this point in their careers, just simply significantly more dynamic than David Moore.
Yeah, and he wasn't really last year either.
No, and this offense will not be where it needs to be if Tedero McMillan isn't knocking on the door of Pro Bowl, and if Jalen Coker isn't amongst the best number 2 wide receivers, not like top 10, but top half of the NFL of number 2 wide receivers in the league. Whoever the number 3 is, which it should be Xavier Legette based on his physical ability because you need someone to take the top off. But if it's not, whoever it is has to play that role in a low volume. You're not going to have a ton of opportunities to change the game. If that's David Moore, you're going to have a few catches of 7 yards. John Mechie, maybe. I still consider him a lotto ticket. I'm not banking on it. I hope it works out. But if he's not on the final roster, I wouldn't be surprised. I hope he is, but you don't know at this point. It's Bryson Tremaine. He makes the team as a special teamer. If he wants to catch a third down here or there, I'm fine with it. Chris Brazzell, when he comes back, needs to be a part of it. You got to use a third-round pick. You have to have a hierarchy in the wide receiver room. You have to. More from Dave Canales. How about the man of the hour? Jonathan Brooks has all of the positivity, all of the PR, all of the hype right now. The running back who has yet to really play much at all or practice much at all at the NFL level. Apparently he fell down during a special teams drill, and he's got the Joel Embiid thing for Sixers fans, which is like if he falls, nobody breathes until he stands up and shows everybody that he's okay. So the close call on a special teams drill. Here's Dave Canales talking about it.
JB's going to have to tell me that he really wants to do it because we need him to be ready to see the different returns, but at the same time, we're bringing him back in phases, So that was just another football play. He lost his footing, and we all have to kind of move on from that, him as well, and just say, hey, stuff happens on the football field, just keep playing fast, trust it, and your body will just continue to catch up to it.
What will that conversation be like with him, you said, about the return possibility?
He's going to have to beg me. He's going to have to beg me to get out there because I know what an impact he can make on our offense, and we feel very confident in Trevor in what he's done last year as a punt returner and a kick returner. And we have some other young guys, too, that we really want to evaluate. So I would not anticipate you'll see Jonathan Brooks in the preseason returning any kicks. And once we get into the season, in a competitive moment, he's going to have to come up to me and grab me by the shirt and say, I'm taking this one with Trevor. So, but Yeah, Jonathan's doing a great job. He had another great day, full day of practice, played physical, made an unbelievable catch on a go ball. If you guys saw that along the other sideline, got his feet in, which just goes to show some of the other things that he can bring to our offense.
Yeah, I don't want him on special teams. I don't even want him practicing special teams. I don't want him to think he's good at special teams. I don't want him begging to be on special teams. I want Jonathan Brooks, and I love that he wants to split out playing wide receiver. I want him to be a running back. Let's get a full season of him, healthy, playing effective running back, and then we can get crazy. Has he been talking to Travis Hunter? Can he play a little corner? Like let's rein everything in. Healthy, timeshare running back. If you get that, thank your lucky stars. Guy's ruined his knee each of the last 2 years. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99. It's been 2.5 football seasons since he's played real football. Returning punts. Get out of here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm like, I know this is coming across kind of jokey. I'm dead serious. Part-time running back. All your energy there. The Starting Five brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. The Baker family has roofed the Carolinas since 1915. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Always good work. BakerHomeExteriors.com. Let's get our numbers game contestants lined up. Right now, call 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game. And if you win, you'll win a pair of tickets to see 5 Seconds of Summer at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 14th. Again, the number to call, 919-860-5326. You get an awesome prize and the glory that comes with a victory if you win the numbers game. Coming up next.
Hey, everyone. Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000. They paid off all their credit cards. They paid off their existing HELOC. They remodeled their kitchen and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but still get the cash that you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Evan, Kenty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He, Rich Paul, and whoever is in the small circle of people in the know knew that they were going to have to weather this. Everyone being annoyed at the delay and the indecision. It's almost as if he's enjoying this because he knows we're all chomping at the bit for this information, and he knows that there's an internal countdown in his head being like, okay, just wait, it's going to happen here.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
A lot has changed since 1915. The way the Baker family treats people hasn't. They've roofed the Carolinas for over 100 years. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's kept that promise for generations. Baker Home Exteriors, always good work. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com.
At Wake Orthopedics Urgent Care, we spend days, nights, and weekends in 3 convenient locations providing specialized care for kids and adults. Sprains and strains, shoulders and knees, fractures, hammies, and more. All that and all without an appointment. Walk in or limp in, either way you'll get the care you need whenever you need it. Visit us today at wakemed.org.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With experience beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Time to play the numbers game. But we need another caller. It's become a thing. Jeb calls in and everybody's afraid of Jeb. So 919-860-5326. Prove you know sports. 919-860-5326. Call in right now and you can be thrown right into the fire and potentially walk away with, let me bring it up here for you, tickets to see 5 Seconds of Summer at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 14th. I'm told they put on quite the show. 919-860-5326. Call in right now, please. If not, we'll just get started with Jeb, and if none of you want it, we'll just move right along. Never mind. You're already there. I don't know why you guys wait. For a long time, it was the phone lines, and I feel like we may have conditioned you incorrectly. But either way, Jeb and Raleigh will be facing off against Alex in Raleigh. One of you is winning some 5 Seconds of Summer tickets. Let's bring them each onto the show. Ask them the same question. Max will be our judge. He will get to pick which one he likes best, and we'll go from there. Jeb and Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jeb. The question for today is, we'll go with this one. There's a lot of talk about expansion in different sports, maybe baseball, maybe NHL, maybe NBA. Pick a team. I don't care what league. It doesn't really matter. You have to come up with the mascot, right? It could be the Canes. Could be, that's what we're looking for, like the team name. So what are you rolling with, Jeb?
All right. This might be a cop-out, but I'm an ECU alum. So in the event we get – wait, if it's relocation, does that still count? Or does it have to be expansion? Like if the Rays go to Raleigh?
Sure. You could also just say a baseball team comes to Raleigh. You don't even have to say
Sure.
Raleigh. You could go somewhere else.
If an MLB team comes to North Carolina in the near future, I'm going to go Pirates.
All right. Max, any follow-ups?
There is already a Major League Baseball team called the Pirates.
That is tough.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that was so embarrassing. Oh, my gosh. That was so embarrassing.
I thought you were going to relocate the Pirates.
It doesn't have to be baseball, though. I mean, if you wanted to say Pirates for some other sport, that could still apply.
All right. You know what? I'm going to say in the event Tom Dundon pulls the trigger on the NBA and we somehow get a Trailblazers going to North Carolina.
You could have just taken Pittsburgh and relocated them to Raleigh. Either way, all right. Jeb is locked in the NBA in Raleigh with the Pirates. Alex in Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Same question to you. If it doesn't have to be this area, but if you were in charge of naming a new or relocated professional sports team, what mascot are you giving them? Like the Canes or the Panthers? Like, what would you roll with?
If we could somehow do expansion in the NBA, I would love to bring the Supersonics back. And if we can actually get the old Supersonics guy to come back out and dunk, that'd be cool. Supersonics.
All right. So it's you're reinventing the Supersonics. Max, are you rolling with Jeb and Raleigh, who wants to bring the Pirates to the Major League Baseball, no wait, to the NBA, or Alex and Raleigh, who wants the Supersonics to be reinvigorated?
Each kind of going with a rehash. Jeb just going from college to professional, and then Alex wanted to bring back the old school Supersonics.
Not a lot of originality there.
Well, I mean, there's only so many team names left, right? And like you really gotta stretch for it these days.
The Mammoth were coming out there. The Commanders are brand new.
Well,
there's
not. No one's saying. I don't think many are saying.
I'm just
Commanders
saying they're
was a
not
great name.
They're not rehashed. I think the Mammoth were pretty good.
Golden
Knights are pretty new.
We'll give the nod to Jeb for kind of extending his collegiate pride, but Yeah, that
right.
it really does drive home how few names there are left for sports teams.
Do you have anyone you like? We'll talk after. Jeb and Raleigh, you're up first. Alex, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a minute. Jeb, are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah, you've got to forgive me. That was so embarrassing. But I'm just
It's all good. It's all good, Jeb. We'll only laugh at you if you lose, okay? All right. The categories are he was like, oh, man. NFL players that have had significant knee injuries since 2021. Major League Baseball players who led the league in triples at some point in their career. NBA players that were teammates of Russell Wilson at some point or another. Or NHL Hurricanes only.
You know, I'm going to go Russell Wilson. I'm going to go that category.
Russell Westbrook.
That's Russell Westbrook, right?
Did I say Wilson?
Okay. I take it back then. I'm going to go.
Wait, was that my mistake or was that
you
his
did
mistake?
say Russell Wilson.
Oh, sorry. NBA Russell Westbrook teammates.
Okay.
There's probably not a lot of overlap for teammates in the NBA that played with Russell Wilson. But NBA Russell Westbrook teammates, I'll let you change your pick if you want to.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm going to do the knee injury since 21.
Okay. NFL players that have suffered significant injuries since 2021. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Breece Hall, New York Jets.
20.
Correct. Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers.
11.
Correct. Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals.
1.
Correct. Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
14.
Correct. Matt Paradis, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
That's all we got left. Matt Paradis, could be Paradis, Carolina Panthers.
67.
Incorrect. Matt Paradis, Carolina Panthers.
65.
Incorrect. Matt Paradis, Carolina Panthers.
10.
You were in the right spot there. 61 is what we were looking for. Those of you playing at home, we also would have accepted 14 or 12 for Chris Godwin, but you did already get that one. The rest you all got. So 4 out of 5, very solid showing. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. That's very rare for me in the NFL to get to a guy I don't know how to pronounce.
Paradis is right.
Could be Paradis, Paradise. I don't know. Either way, 4 out of 5 is the number to beat. Jeb posted it. Now Alex will have a chance. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I feel like no one called. 4 out of 5 is pretty good.
4 out of 5 is pretty. Hey, Jeb's. No disrespect to Jeb, and I said I would only make fun of him if he lost, but he's lost a good amount of times. Alex, you get to choose out of MLB players who led the league in triples, NBA players that were Russell Westbrook's, not Russell Wilson, Russell Westbrook's teammates, or NHL Hurricanes only.
I'll go with Russell Westbrook.
Okay. NBA players that were teammates of Russell Westbrook. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need all 5 for the win, so give it your best. You have the entire clock to do so. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I'm all set.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Paul George, Los Angeles Clippers.
13.
Correct. Bradley Beal, Washington Wizards.
3.
Correct. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets.
31.
Incorrect. Rajon Rondo, Los Angeles Lakers.
9.
Correct. Steven Adams, Oklahoma City Thunder.
26.
Incorrect. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets.
40.
Incorrect. Steven Adams, Oklahoma City Thunder.
21.
Incorrect. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets.
44.
Incorrect. I'm going to make it so you will never forget Nikola Jokic. It's 15, and it's the dumbest decision in the world by the Nuggets to give him 15 because that's also Carmelo Anthony's name or number, and somehow the 2 of the 4 best players in Nuggets history wear the same number, and they're going to have to retire it for 2 reasons, and it makes no sense.
I never forgot that.
Yeah, now you'll never forget it. It's one of those things I can't forget. Steven Adams was number 12 we were looking for, but you got
backwards.
Yeah, you did. Said 21. 3 out of 5 is a solid number, but it's not enough for the win. So hopefully you had some fun.
I did. Thanks, guys.
Also, I want credit. I fixed that one on the fly. I do not do any of the work prepping this, so I'm not traditionally I don't take any of the credit for how good these lists are. But they had Rajon Rondo down for number 4. He's number 9, and I knew that, and he got it right.
Well, number 4 with the Lakers or the Celtics.
Oh, did I mess that up?
Well, he lost anyway.
Oh, maybe I got it wrong.
You gave him an extra correct. If that's the case,
I don't know. That's picture him on the Lakers wearing number 9.
There you go. Maybe it was a multiple answer.
Did he wear
just didn't
both?
have it all.
Yeah, he may have worn both. May have worn both.
I'm looking at Basketball Reference.
It looks like number 9. Oh, he also wore number 4. Are all of those?
Yeah, so he had multiple stints with the Lakers, one where he wore 9 and one where he wore 4. So they're both right.
Okay, so I still made a good on-court adjustment there.
Yes, that was a good call.
All right. I felt bad that it wouldn't have mattered, but I still just like being accurate. So, again, good showing by both. The winner is Jeb. Jeb, congratulations.
Thank you. You're welcome to hand the tickets off to Alex if you want. I just love playing the game.
And it
He already hung up,
In
Jeb.
it just for the love of the game.
I already dropped him.
You stay on the line and you figure it out with Max what you want to do with the tickets. But congratulations for getting the win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. And while you do that, I'm going to let everybody know about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where they constantly have brand new, cutting edge, just released Omega watches in stock. The limited nature of watches is tough, where you might see a release and it's one you want, but you need a couple months, couple weeks and they're gone. But the beauty of the Omega Boutique inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh is it is one of the biggest Omega boutiques, the store within the store, in the entire country. So Omega and the relationship with Bailey's Fine Jewelry is fantastic. And when the Panda Dials or when the limited editions or when the commemorative editions come out, while they don't have unlimited, right, because they're limited editions, there are usually at least a couple that come through Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And if you ask and you are a loyal customer, you can work your way into there and get some of the truly, really, really cool drops and releases. That's just the Omega. They also have the entire Fox and Bailey watch shop. They have the Glashütte Original display case. They have the Blancpain display case. They have all of the jewelry for those of you that are into that sort of thing. There's an incredible selection of luxury time pieces and jewelry, and it's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry located in the Village District in Raleigh. As always, when you stop in to see them, when you hit them up on their DMs at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop on Instagram, or when you give them a call, let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with a deeper look into the Carolina Hurricanes contracts, which are pretty darn awesome. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Don't buy this line that Carolina only won the cup because Florida was too broken to challenge for a third straight title. The Hurricanes were the best team in the league. They were way better than they were the previous year. And I know we can't prove it, but I think Carolina would have beaten Florida if the Panthers were standing in their way. Don't worry what Florida did. Make yourself better.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman's stainless steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For 2 unforgettable nights, the legendary music of Pink Floyd comes to life like never before. The North Carolina Symphony joins forces with The Machine, America's #1 Pink Floyd tribute band, for an epic celebration of one of rock's greatest catalogs. Tickets on sale this Thursday, October 2nd and 3rd at 8 at the Martin Marietta Center at Menandy Concert Hall in Raleigh. Tickets online at ncsymphony.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a day like today when Macklin Celebrini signs the largest average annual value contract or contract extension in NHL history, a lot of immediate response is to check out other contracts in comparison, see what it does to the market, who's next up for a big contract. And there is a phenomena happening right now in the NHL that we've seen happen in other sports. I think the best example of it, and I don't even know what year it was. I can tell you what happened the year that I'm talking about. It happened in the NBA, and it was the year that I believe it was the Kevin Durant to Golden State year. And the reason why I say it is because suddenly everybody had a lot more money because the cap went up very, very quickly in the NBA. It was also the year Luol Deng, former Duke guy, got paid a gigantic amount, and Timothy Mozgov got paid a gigantic amount, I believe both by the Lakers. And it was simply because everyone had all this money burning a hole in their pocket, so the market just skyrocketed very quickly. And what happened then is what's happening now in the NHL, just in slower motion, which is the contracts that were signed right before the cap exploded looked out of place, team friendly, a year or two after the cap exploded, right? It was the equivalent of you hear it like in the, I don't know if everybody else gets these. My social media feed sometimes shows me, probably because I'm fascinated by real estate and like HGTV and your phone's always listening. But it'll show me like somebody that bought a house for like $30,000 and now they're selling it for $1.2 million, but they had to hold it for like 40 years. Essentially in these leagues, inflation happens like overnight, right? You sign a new media deal, the cap goes way up, you negotiate a new CBA with a different percentage of rev share, and the cap goes way up, and it's like 30 years of inflation happened in an off season, right? Only for the NHL, it's been like 3 or 4, and it's going to go on for another 2 or 3 years because the cap's just going up at a ridiculous rate. The Canes long-term deals are all signed at the beginning of that inflation, and they're all going to look like weirdly team-friendly in a year or two, right? When the Leo Carlsson contract hits and when the Macklin Celebrini contract hits and every contract that is signed using those two as the new market setter is going to make Seth Jarvis making $7.4 million per year and counting against the cap even less than that because of the deferred money, which isn't even allowed anymore. It's going to look ridiculous. And Jackson Blake making $5.1 million a year over the next 8 years is going to look ridiculous. And that just continues to build on Logan Stankoven and continues to build on even the deals that were signed last offseason already age well. They do. The Keandre Miller deal already aged well. And because of that, you have this surplus value, okay? And The Athletic put out a list of the best efficiency contract ranking. So every team looked at all of the contracts they have signed. They've put a model, an analytics value on how much they expect the players to return and how much they're going to be paid. For example, they believe Jackson Blake will return $10.5 million average annual value. He makes $5.1 million average annual value. That means his net positive is about 93.8% yearly. That's really good, okay? The part that blows my mind is that they have every forward, defenseman, and goalie contract for the Canes on this page. There are only 2 that they don't expect to bring in more value than they're being paid. William Carrier, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, we've talked about ad nauseum. He's a healthy extra at this point, which is unusual, but it is what it is. I think they could have gotten out from that contract if they wanted to, but there's no reason to, and they like him, so they'll keep him around. And the William Carrier contract, I think, is just a flaw in the model value for how much he's bringing in, meaning how much value he's providing, because it's really tough to put a number on toughness and physicality, and you need that on that fourth line. So I would argue they don't have a bad contract. If you look at the other teams, heck, if you look at Montreal, who they have as the second best efficiency contracts in the entire NHL, They have 5 forward contracts that are losing value. 7 total player contracts that are losing value. The Canes have like 1.5. That's the difference, right? It's just like anything in sports, right? A GM has more in common with like a quarterback than you think. Not with actually what their jobs are, but with how they're judged. You could be a quarterback that has the coolest highlight film in the NFL. The best big plays, you're scrambling, you made a guy miss, you spun out of another, you threw it around the back and it was completed, but nobody cares if your lowlights are bad enough that your team never wins. Right? Nobody cares if, you've got some cool highlights, but right after the highlight, you throw a pick 6, so it doesn't matter, right? That's not what the Canes do. The Canes have the highlights. The Jackson Blake, the Seth Jarvis, the Sebastian, the Logan Stankoven contracts, Jacob Slavin contracts, bananas. They have the bananas contracts, but what they don't have are the bad ones that even it out. Right? We started with the Macklin Celebrini deal. That is a San Jose Sharks good deal, right? Macklin Celebrini is going to be that good. He's, in line to be a torch carrier for the league. Like, that's $18.8 million sounds like a lot, but even that by the end will look like a decent contract for Macklin Celebrini. The issue is they have awful contracts that make their good contracts completely null and void. Mason Marchment, they've done a good job on. It does not matter if you did a good job on Mason Marchment if you're paying Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba, whatever that ends up being, $17.5 million combined annually. Because they're expected to bring back about $8 million in this little The Athletic experiment. Eric Tolsky and the Carolina Hurricanes have put together a roster that is largely all good contracts. And that is incredible. And that's why they won the Stanley Cup. And that's why they're going to be in line to compete for and have a good chance at winning more in the next 3 or 4 years. And quite frankly, if they continue to do a good job with it, as long as Jackson Blake and Stankoven and those guys and Jarvis, those contracts are still on, they're going to have an advantage on most. And I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. Like, the way that you get the contracts they have that are really, really good is not conservative, right? It's not like they're playing it safe. Because if somebody had no bad contracts, I would assume they have all like 2-year contracts, right? And they aren't taking a chance on anybody. But that's not what they do. The moment they see enough, 1 year out of Jackson Blake, that was really good. A half year and a great playoff run out of Logan Stankoven, that was really good. They give them 9 years of stability, which is super high risk, but also super high reward, and yet somehow they still don't miss. Somehow they still don't miss. Even the a Mark Jankowski contract somehow looks like it's bringing in really good value. And that is a small contract by comparison for a fourth liner, but they work it in a way where Jankowski's expected to bring back more value than that. It's a really, really good job. It is a top-to-bottom deal. And also, I guess we should also point this out, it is a coaching staff thing because – once they sign the deal, the coaches get the most out of them, and a lot of this is based on their production of the last season. So if you're playing guys out of position or not playing them the right way, they're not going to produce the way that you'd expect them to or hope they would, and it's going to look like a bad contract. Another way to put it is like that Keandre Miller contract, if he signed it with a different team, it might not be expected to bring back that much value, right? If he signed that exact same contract with the Boston Bruins, I don't know why I picked them, or with the Utah Mammoth, I don't know if his season this year is as good, and thus the numbers would change, the value would change, and I don't know if it's seen as such a good contract. So you have to give the culture and the coaches credit as well for getting the most out of them. They still have $10.2 million in cap space. That's with their good contract negotiating, that's what, like 6 more good guys? 6 more top-end players? How many can you fit into $10 million? Or one Alexander Nikishin. Maybe that's Alexander Nikishin, 7 years. I don't know. We'll see. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As I said earlier, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9. Like videos while you're there. Subscribe. And also, this is the big part that I ask you as a favor. Pass them around. Pass the videos around. If you know you have a friend that is a big Panthers fan, send them some Panthers content. Make their day and make my day. Kill two birds with one stone.
And tell them to hit subscribe, too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if they like it. Like, I don't want anybody doing it out of pity. I want you to check out our content, like it, subscribe. That's it. I'm not forcing you to do anything. Just give us a chance. We just want to get in the game, Coach. We want to settle it on the field. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday edition of the show. We will be talking with Joel Bryan of High School OT about the Jamboree coming up and some high school all-state teams and things like that. So if you're a local high school sports fan, you definitely want to tune in tomorrow. With that being said, can I hear some Michael McDonald? Did we miss Michael McDonald today? All right, there it is. I don't think I noticed it coming out of break. I felt bad. Michael McDonald on the way out. Have a great night, everybody.
This hour of The Drive was brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for the 99.9 The Fan app.
Exactly. Listen to your favorite hosts, teams, and live sports action.
The Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.